The repo man is here to collect. We want the kingdom, so surrender the debt. We want it all, arms, legs, and your neck. 1,000-yard stare, you ain't scaring this bet. No, you're not. You think not? Place it down as a bet. Ain't no beating around the bush, boy. We coming direct, right? If you teaming up with Satan, boy, you better defect. Speak the word of truth, baby. Don't live where we wreck. Now here's the deal. We want the war, boy. It's signing it sealed. Got the California chrome and it's tucked concealed. You know the truth might surprise you like a gender reveal. Fraud man, Navy SEAL, your Howard side the wheel. Leaving suckers in the dust. Sit back and watch the rubber peel. Not gonna stop till we got our enemies to kneel. Live by the law for real. That's what we supposed to do. Eat them, get in the past, nigga. That's non-negotiable. Raise your hands, crack the ceiling. It's 12 tribes in the building. A holy people, not the building. What we doing, huh? We legacy building. Raise your hands, crack the ceiling. It's 12 tribes in the building. Teach the women and the children. We legacy building.
Tears of joy when I'm looking at my people's face. We set apart, I wouldn't want to be no other race. And though we living in hell, our spirit still prevail. With every reason to fail, but God placed us here. God is covered by his wings of protection. I put it on the line for the brothers in my section. We feeling good, it ain't no coincidence. When you strive for the law, you'll be void of offense. Shout out to the bar, the drinks is on me. Practice makes perfect, so perfection we gon' see. We gone some rough ways, but we stuck to the plan. Knew that if I did his will, one day then I'd be the man. Blessings to the man whose soul would understand. I'm not the one who could, rather be the one who can. I prove it with my love, and the spirit's getting deeper. Some thoughts by yours truly, aka my brother's keeper.
Raise your hands, crack the ceiling. It's 12 tribes in the building. A holy people, not the building.
What we doing, huh?
We legacy building. Raise your hands, crack the ceiling. It's 12 tribes in the building. Teach the women and the children. We legacy building. In conclusion, no debate, the points for improving. Still recruiting, teaching, see my nigga, what you doing? Trying to figure out if Trump's gonna shoot it out with Putin. Pseudos claiming they got the truth. Now who you fooling? In 07, got some wisdom at the Mayan ruins. Some of these jakes be snakes on their bellies moving. These guys be high when they prophesy. They strong delusions, cruising for a bruising, trying to wake you from your snoozing. Setting order to confusion, doing it right. Life and times of an Israelite enduring the fight. 7 lamps to keep the light. Hold tight with all your might. Just some insight to keep you right and not left. Stay focused. To an example shown, they got it all alone. We repossessing it, we taking it home. Frank and Murr not alone. Words can break bones, so watch what you say. Make it count and pray for the day to be delivered.
Mic check 1 2 1 2 1 2. If I'm coming in clear, drop a 7 in the chat for me. The water Sharwawak. The water Sharwawak. And use yell. Everybody that's been letting me know that these mic settings got switched up on me somehow. So let's do that again, man. All praise, honor, and glory to the Most High. Why Yahweh Shah? It's your brother IQAhmath, IQAhmath, first name. IQ is all the same. Whole new episode. Here we go. DSTM, don't shoot the messenger. You know what time it is. If you've been around, you've been picking up what I've been putting down. But if you have not, don't get too close because you might get shot. That's right. That's right. Shalom, 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 peace, shalom, all that good stuff, man. Good morning, good afternoon, whatever time zone that you in. It's time, y'all. It's time. We got another one on deck. And this is why he may push the panic button. War is on deck. The economy is on deck. Plague on deck. You name it, it's all on the table right now. You seen the thumbnail? We're going to talk about it. We are going to talk about it. Yeah, your man is in a lot of trouble. Your boy Agent Orange is in a lot of trouble, man. The files got released. Another 50, they up to like 50% of them files came out. And some damning evidence that came out against your boy, man. So expect the unexpected. Expect the unexpected, man. If you're good and everything's well with you on the Shabbat right now, go ahead and feel free, man. Throw a 3 in the chat. 3 is also a number of completion. Throw a 3 in the chat, man. If y'all all right. All right. Make sure that you wipe your feet, man. You came up in here, man, and you walked into this door. You came up in this chamber. Wipe them feet, man. Throw a like to your brother. All right. Let the algorithm know, man. We fighting against the system. We're not allowing the folly to go on, man. You're enjoying this particular information, knowledge, and wisdom and prophecy, and it's doing you some justice, and you want somebody else to learn from it. You want some others to be notified by it. All you gotta do is hit that like button. Your work is done. Your work, our work, my work is done. Feel me? That's not that hard, right? So we're gonna get right to it, man. Let me share my screen. No time to play because I got a lot to talk about today. A lot we're gonna discuss. Some scriptures we got to come out with. But first, let me share this. Oh, okay, it's not sharing correctly. Let me do this. Hold on. Let's try this way. All right. Numero uno. Oops. Numero uno. Fair use. Fair use, right? This in any video that you see today is going to be based and used under the Fair Use Act. This for teaching, scholarship, commentary, education, research, etc. So YouTube, hold that down, okay? All right. Enough of that. Now, let me start off with this. Right? This is breaking before I get into everything else, because it all coincides with the lesson today. Saying that this may be the reason why he pushes the panic button. This breaking, you have some explosions in Iran. Now, they're not tying it, saying that it's war related. They're unclear on how these things happen, but we know that Trump has been threatening about launching attacks. He's built up that armada, lining up, going over there to Iran, threatening war with them, telling them they need to back down, no nuclear power, no nuclear facility, no nuclear weapons. If they can't get with it, bombs is on the way, right? Now, all of a sudden, explosion didn't happen. And if you see and Agent Orange's track record, he has a propensity to launch bombs Friday evening, early morning, or Saturday. Just ask President Maduro. Yeah. Ask the Yemenis over there in Yemen when they got bombed. What day was it they got bombed on? That's one thing that we know. And when you track his particular movements and his orders, he usually likes doing stuff on this particular day. But let's let this play.
This is one of the biggest ideas we've ever had to pull off.
I tweeted out that I've been sitting on this idea for a commercial.
Welcome back. We are closely monitoring Iran this morning after several explosions have been reported there. And I wanted to put this up on your screen here. The Jerusalem Post saying 5 people were killed, 14 injured after a series of explosions were reported. Here's what we know. According to Reuters, at least 1 person was killed and 14 injured in an explosion in the southern Iranian port today, but the cause of the blast is not known at this time. Reuters says that social media reports alleging that a Revolutionary Guard Navy commander had been targeted in the explosion were, quote, completely false. Iranian media said the blast was under investigation but provided no further information. Iranian authorities could not immediately be contacted for comment as well. Now, separately, 4 people were killed after a gas explosion in a city near the Iraqi border. That's according to state-run Tehran Times. No further information was immediately available as well. 2 Israeli officials told Reuters that Israel was not involved in the blasts, which come amid heightened tensions between Tehran and Washington.
Now, let me stop right there. Do you think that the small hat AstroTurf GMO officials would say, yes, it was us? Immediately they reach out and they say, hey, was this y'all? Far be it from them to tell the truth. You dig what I'm saying? Far be it from them to tell the truth. All of a sudden, no, it wasn't us. It wasn't us. Nothing to see over here. Move on. Even though we've made a number of different gestures and a number of different requests, Bibi Netanyahu has already put out a request and told Trump, we want authority to go hit them up again as of a couple of weeks ago. So, of course, the Iranian officials say, hey, man, is this y'all? Of course not. It wasn't us. Look the other way.
Over Iran's crackdown.
And I'm not saying it was them. There's not enough proof right now. You know, the scriptures say that we have to prove all things. I'm saying think about it. Where there's smoke, there's fire. Sirach 5:15 says, be not ignorant of any matter, small or great. So nothing can be ruled out, especially dealing with them.
On nationwide protests and over the country's nuclear program. The Pentagon did not immediately respond to a request for comment as well. Now, I wanted to share this on your screen. This is from President Trump days ago. As we do know that President Trump said on January 22nd, an armada was heading toward Iran. We also heard him just say that in the Oval Office last night, as well as he was taking questions from reporters. Multiple sources saying yesterday that Trump was weighing options against Iran that included targeted strikes on security forces. Now, earlier today, the Iranian president accused the U.S.
No, we're going to stop there. There's still another minute to go from this, but y'all get the point, right? Days before this, threats get put out there. Massive armadas heading to Iran. It's moving quickly with great power, enthusiasm, and purpose. It's a larger fleet headed by the great aircraft carrier Abraham Lincoln, blah, blah, blah. What do you say? Hopefully, Iran will quickly come to the table and negotiate fair and equitable deal. No nuclear weapons, all caps. One that is good for all parties. Make the deal. Look at all this stuff. Don't make that happen again. Look at it. The next attack will be far worse. Hello? He's already acknowledging there's going to be another attack if they don't bow down, kiss the boot, drink from the wine, right? And here's another little thing we're going to talk about too. See that? That's the lower right-hand corner. Partial government shutdown. 9 hours, 55 minutes, 30 seconds. Yeah, that's another thing we got to discuss too. I told y'all last year, possible shutdowns are going to happen at the end of January if they don't come to another deal. So there's a partial shutdown right now. They got enough funding to make it through, I believe, till Monday. Certain departments are funded for the next 2 weeks. So right now they're downplaying it. Oh, it's not really effective. Of course not. Everybody's on the weekend. Nobody's working. I mean, the government that are working, they're covered through the weekend. So of course the news is like, hey, don't panic. SNAP EBT still good till Monday. The funding is okay. We'll get to it. I'm jumping the gun. All right. So that's on the table, right? Now let's look here. The regime in Iran has raised the Shia Islam red flag on top of the Jamkaran Mosque. This flag signifies, quote, revenge and war. It has been raised during every military conflict with Israel. This is as of yesterday. Now, I just took these from, some news posts that I've seen. And these posts have been put up on X, right? This is according to the Iranian army. We will not submit to America and Israel, and we are ready for any confrontation, whatever its level, even if it reaches the most dangerous forms of war. in an explicit indication of all extreme possibilities, including the nuclear scenario. Imagine that. Okay. Let's back out of that for a minute. Let's look at some scriptures. Okay. There's a couple of reasons why I titled this particular lesson what I did. And you say, well, IQ, what do you mean? This may be the reason why he pushed the panic button. Why is America in a panic? Is America in trouble right now? Is America in dire straits? Is America in a particular position of an animal backed into a corner, fight or flight, revenge, aggressive posturing? Absolutely they are. This is why you see them moving on the offensive towards gaining and gathering resources to help sustain the economy, to help sustain an inevitable war that's coming up. War costs money. War costs resources, right? Habakkuk 2, and we're going to read verse 6. It says, shall not these take up a parable against him and a taunting proverb against him and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his. Think about that. Who's increased in things that don't belong to them? Who's increased via New Age colonialism? Who's increased riches by kidnapping sovereign leaders, taking their resources, depositing $500 million from oil sales into private banks overseas? Who's done that? Let's look at America, period. And the surrounding Caribbean islands, Canada, so forth and so on, right? This new form of Babylon was established and taken by what? War, false peace treaties, selling of lands that wasn't there from the beginning, i.e. the Louisiana Purchase, so forth and so on, genocide, biological warfare, right? All this land is stolen. There's no quote unquote discovery that they had. What they did have is the doctrine of discovery, papal bulls, so forth and so on, where they made edicts to declare themselves the victor in every scenario and went about establishing dominance and rulership all throughout the earth. This is why you have Agent Orange now talking about the Don Rowe doctrine regarding him wanting complete hegemony over the Western Hemisphere. So he's increasing that which is not his. It says, but how long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. What's the thick clay that America has covered itself with, laden himself with? Well, let's look at it. Thick clay. Let's look at the Hebrew. And here we go. Let's let the white man tell you how to speak. Oh, you don't want to say nothing, huh?
Strong's H, 5671, avteet.
And what does that mean? Weight, pledges, or heavy debt. America is now what covered as in a similitude of thick clay with weights of pledges and heavy debts to the amount of $37 trillion debt. Excuse me. To the amount of the devaluation of the dollar now, to the amount of heavy inflation, to the amount of, the petrodollar being compromised. So because they've increased in things that are not theirs, why? Because of the heavy debts that they're in. They start doing things that now promote themselves as the criminals and the villains of the earth, all for self-preservation. Proverbs 23:5, wilt thou set thine eyes upon that which is not? For riches certainly make themselves wings. They fly away as an eagle toward heaven. See, that's why you can't chase after money. You can't chase after money. Why? Because it grows wings and it starts running. As soon as you start to chase, it begins running away from you. And you're forever like a hamster in the wheel, chasing after that money. Right? See, the Most High told us in Joshua 1:8, it says that if we keep the commandments and meditate upon those things, then we'll have good success, and then the Most High will bless us. Paraphrasing that verse. See, that's why we got in Mark the 4th chapter regarding the parable of the sower and the seed. And the one that gets put on stony ground, the word begins to choke and cause offense. Or because they're too deep into the world, they wind up rejecting the word because it's getting in the way of their aspirations. Let's go there real quick. I didn't have that one planned, but we're going to go there real quick. Mark the 4th chapter, and let's get into, let's go right here. We'll just get right to the sower and the seed and the breakdown and understanding of the parable. Mark 4:14. The sower soweth the word. So this is the understanding of the parable. The sower is the one who's sowing the word. The seed is actually the word. And these are they by the wayside, where the word is sown, but when they have heard, Satan cometh immediately and taketh away the word that was sown in their hearts. That happens all the time. Brothers, y'all will know that. When you're on the highways and the byways, man, you got somebody and you like, man, that brother was locked. That sister was locked, man. They was out there for hours. They said they coming to the school. They said they're going to check the website out. They said they're going to, I made them subscribe to the channel right there on the spot. And you think you got one on the line. But guess what? As soon as they walk away, that brother got called from his ex or from that sister he was trying to get at all that time. She said, man, baby, come on over here. I know I've been running from you. Let's talk. Oh, yeah. Where are you at? I was just watching you brothers. I forget all that. Drop that. Come on. Somebody called him. Hey, brother, I got an opportunity to make some bread, man. Blah, 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 blah. And brothers just got to breaking it down to you about the Sabbath and not working and so forth and so on. That phone call comes in. Oh, sister gets the call. Her mama's sick, whatever. Oh, sorry, brothers, I got to go. Something always occurs where Satan immediately comes in and that word that was sown within their mind gets taken away. Believe me, I know. I was a victim of this. I first saw brothers, one of my personal testimony, I first saw brothers teaching at Venice Beach out here in California. Had to be maybe early 1994, maybe even 93. I don't recall. But it was in that time frame. I saw brothers, man, and I was, at the time out here in California, Venice Beach was the spot. Everybody used to go to the beach Sundays, hang out at the beach, man. The whole city, everybody's at the beach, man. It's a cool place to go, hook up, find females, find male, hang out, kick it, blah, 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 all that other stuff. And after that, everybody would go to Crenshaw. And y'all know the legacy about Crenshaw, the low riders, everybody hanging out on the streets. I seen brothers teaching at Venice Beach. And me and my homies, everybody I was with, I stopped, listened. They left me. I told brother, man, y'all go ahead, man. I'll catch up. Where I was going to find them at a beach with thousands and thousands of people, who knows? But the Spirit told me, just stay here and watch. I watched brothers for about a good 30, 40 minutes. I was locked. Brothers was out there. They used to have, one of the brothers, I forgot which brother was teaching. But brothers, had their shades on. They out there sweating. It's hot. Brothers had on, boots, fatigues on. The brother that was teaching, he had a horse whip, them little whips you have for horses. He was hitting the visuals and I was like, I said, man, who the heck? These brothers is powerful, man. They out here talking about the white man, the devil, the slave trade, blah, blah, blah. And I'm locked in. I'm like, wow. Got the literature. Ask me what happened to that literature after I left the beach, man. Who knows? Probably got some girls with numbers written on it, thrown away. Who knows what? All I know is once I walked away, I was back I was out of that zone, out of that spirit. I'm back into the world, carousing around on the beach, getting high, doing Lord knows what, and then hitting Crenshaw later on that night. Word immediately got taken away from me. That happens all the time. Continuing on, it says, and these are they likewise, which are sown on stony ground, who, when they heard the word, immediately receive it with gladness and have no root in themselves, so endure for the time. But for a time afterward, when affliction or persecution arises for the word's sake, immediately they are offended. So you get some come in, they get the knowledge, they zealous, they rolling. But as soon as they lose that job, as soon as their family starts cutting them off, as soon as their wife, gives them hell and says, I'm leaving if you don't stop this foolishness and leave that cult. And what they do, they drop everything and say, I can't lose all of this. I gotta stick with what I know, man. Word ain't worth it. Now watch this. And these are they which are sown among thorns. As such, hear the word. And the cares of this world and the deceitfulness of riches and the lust of other things entering in choke the word and to become unfruitful. The deceitfulness of riches, see? That's when we get back over here to Proverbs. See, that's what America built itself on, is the desire and the illusion that there's endless riches here for you. The 2-car garage, the 2-story house, the white picket fence, the dog and the kids and everything else, they romanticize things on TV, movies, the dreams, you've got influencers on Instagram faking it till they make it. If any of y'all seen the little Diddy documentary, they were talking about him and faking it till he made it. They put out these particular dreams, right? But it says as soon as you chase after riches, they're going to make themselves wings and they fly away as an eagle towards heaven. This is why America is chasing after trying to get riches, trying to establish themselves again as a superpower of riches and wealth, because they're losing it all. So now you're seeing all of the stops being pulled out. Everything now is on the table. Isaiah 10. We're going to read 5 and 6. This is why we see Iran in this particular position. This is why we see Russia in this particular position. We talked about Ezekiel 38 and the Most High throwing hooks in the jaws of Russia and Putin and pulling them into a war, pulling them into conflict, because this is the Most High is doing. The Most High is playing chess with these particular nations, drawing them and pulling them up against America. Look at this, Isaiah 10, 5 and 6. This is how the Most High works. O Assyrian, the rod of my anger and the staff in their hand is mine indignation. So the Most High uses nations, just like he uses the so-called white man and the heathens to exercise those curses upon us. Deuteronomy 28, 15 through 68, when he said, I'm going to send a nation against thee from far, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand, so forth and so. The Most High said, I will send a nation. So it's the Most High utilizing these nations for judgment. This is why we see this particular conflict with Iran. Iran now, the Most High is using him as a rod of his anger, a staff in the hand of his indignation. So when you see in Jeremiah 51 and Jeremiah 50, Revelation 17 and 18 and all those particular chapters and verses that we brought out in times past, this is the Most High calling up the nations now to exercise his vengeance against America. Why? Because America has now established himself with things that's not theirs, laden themselves with heavy debt, staying upon their wickedness, refusing to repent, holding the children of Israel hostage through lies and hypocrisies and oppression. Right? All of these things are relevant. Now, look at this. Verse 6, it says, I will send him against a hypocritical nation. Oh, in God we trust. Huh? This is the nation where they allow you to have a gay Bible, a Trump Bible. You can have all these different versions jumping up. I mean, the AI now is making their own biblical narratives. They're promoting movies like Noah and the Last Temptation of Christ and all this other stuff, all with lies and false depictions about people. I mean, come on, man. So the Most High will send and has sent in the past and is doing it now, sending nations against what? A hypocritical nation. And against the people of my wrath will I give him charge to take the spoil and to take the prey and to tread them down like the mire in the street. So the Most High uses the nations to exercise judgment. And this is why you see America facing what it's facing. Trump can go on Trump social all he wants to and say, hey, make a deal now. Thank you for your attention to this matter. He can tweet, he can troll, he can do whatever he wants to. But guess what? This is the age, this is the time now where the nations is not playing. The nations ain't falling for it. They may not be prepared to go ahead. Like Iran can say what they want to say. We're going to come at you, whatever. We're not backing down. But they're not going to do it until they have the say so and they have the assurances that Russia has their back. That's what the scriptures say. Ezekiel 38 says that Russia has to be a guard unto Persia. Persia is Iran. So a guard meaning a protector for Iran. So once they get that okay, and the only way that they can yap and say what they're saying is because they must have some sort of assurances that that's going to be the case. Last week we talked about how Iran was acknowledging and saying that they had ICBMs that could reach the eastern shores of America. So they've got what it takes, right? But this is why we see the nations. Now, Jeremiah 51:6-7. Flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul. What's the Most High concerned about? His soul. You can't flee out of the midst of Babylon, meaning go run to Ghana, go run to Sierra Leone, go run to Thailand, go run to where. There ain't no running. Judgment is going to befall the entire earth. The Most High said, wherever you go, these curses are going to follow you. So let's not get it twisted. They ain't talking about you leaving physically out of this particular land, because Babylon has influence throughout the world. 700 plus military bases throughout the earth. They're establishing a stronghold on the Western Hemisphere. They've already had Europe backing down off of the Greenland deal and all that other stuff. The influence is still there. You're not going to go somewhere and be a monk in the truth and say, well, I'm away from America. I ain't going to face the judgment. What? Does not matter. Why? Because the Most High said your soul is what he's concerned with. Your soul must be cleansed from Babylon. Your soul can't be in the midst of Babylon and all this idolatries and fornication and wickedness and unrighteousness. Your soul can't be involved in those things. Your soul can't be compromised into moving along with a beast system that is anti-biblical, anti-Christ. You can't be involved in those things, right? Why? It says, be not cut off in her iniquity. And what's iniquity? Sin. You physically moving from one place to another does not absolve you from iniquity. You still are subject to iniquity. I'm still subject to iniquity. The influences of iniquity that America spreads throughout the earth, that's what the Most High is saying, regardless of wherever you're at. Don't be cut off in the iniquity, the inclusion, the compromising that America will ladle on all nations. Remember, he said he's going to make all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of fornication. So we have to make sure that we're solidified in that. I'm not discouraging anybody from moving wherever you want to. I'm saying don't move with the mentality that you thinking you're escaping Babylon and his judgments by you moving. No. The only way you escape judgment is to not be cut off in her iniquity and not get caught off in the acquaintances that wherever you go, the nations have with them, or you being here, right? Continuing on, it says, for this is the time of Yahweh's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense. Now look at this. Babylon have been a golden cup in the Lord's hand. So again, just like we see how the Most High said that Assyria was going to be the rod of his indignation. Now he said, even Babylon, he's given Babylon the golden cup in his hand. He's utilized Babylon to spread judgment throughout the earth. So the nations now are held as accomplices because they've been complicit with America's evils. They've profiteered off of America's evils. They haven't repented of their relationships and their covenants with America. They sit back and say, give me more. Well, this tastes pretty good. Not bad. And guess what? Once they start getting that sour taste in their mouth, once they start realizing, oh, I've been poisoned. This breast milk actually is tainted. Oh, made all the earth drunken. Now it says the nations have drunken her wine, therefore the nations are mad. So now it's drawn the nations now to be mad, upset. They've lost their minds right along with America. And now the nations now are saying, well, we've got to do something about this. We don't like this particular relationship that we've got with America. But too late. They done already wrapped their lips around the bottom. Right? Proverbs 28:18. Whoso walketh uprightly shall be saved. That's the key. Your physical location ain't gonna save you. Your walk is going to save you. My walk is going to save us, right? But look at this. But he that is perverse in his way shall fall at once. Ooh wee. If some of y'all haven't seen some of the reports that's came up out of that little Epstein thing, man, we're gonna see. Remember, even the scriptures say, and this holds true, man. I don't understand why people want to hold on to, preservation of of the so-called white man and his identity and his the crimes that he's illicitly complicit of. Look at this. Hebrews 12:16. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau. This is telling us the nature of this person, the limitations, or there is no limitations for him when it comes to these particular things, fornication and profanity, or things of profane nature. This particular nation and people have no limits when it comes to those things. That's an identifier. If Genesis 25:25, the first came out red, hairy, all over like a hairy garment, he's a man of the field, all this other stuff. Earth been given into the hand of the wicked. You can't put all those things together. Now the Most High said, here's another clue of who Esau is. Man, look around the world and see who is the biggest promoter of these particular things. He said there's going to be, lest there be anybody greater in these things than this person. You figure it out. And when we look at this particular, we're going to look at some of those reports, man, that came up off that list. You're going to see why, man. The dude is compromised. He's compromised, man. He's going to do the bidding of those that got their boot on his neck, man. Those that's holding him through blackmail. Those who's holding him. And now it's too late. He's going to do whatever he's being told. We're going to get to it. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Remember, he that is perverse in his ways shall fall at once. Babylon is falling. Revelations 8:2, down to 4. So we're looking at the leadership. Remember, if the head be wicked, it says all of the circle. Hold on, let me get that. I don't want to mess that one up. Sirach, I believe that's the 10th chapter. Yeah, look at this. If the head is sick, man, the rest of the people are. Sirach 10:2. As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers, and what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. So we're going to see, why is America being held in such esteem? Why is it being held accountable for all of its actions? Well, look at the head. The head is perverse. The head is a hypocrite. The head is a liar. The head is covetous, right? The head is full of pride. The head is an idolater. So what does that mean? Everybody else that's with him, all of his officers and officials are moving in the same spirit. All of those that's accomplices with him, and those that have covenant with him, all wove with the same spirit, right? So this is why we're seeing these particular judgments and what's going to happen to America. Let's stay in Proverbs. This is why I said, I mean, this might be the reason why he go ahead and push the panic button, man. Something's got to give. Proverbs 10:9. He that walketh uprightly walketh surely, but he that perverteth his ways shall be known. He's been suppressing them files for a long time. Remember, he campaigned on that. I'm gonna release the files, blah blah blah. Then as soon as he got in, hey, what's the big deal about these files, man? It's a Democrat hoax. They're the ones pushing this. Hey, let's move past that. There's nothing to see here. Then all of a sudden the MAGA hats get to tripping. What? Hold on. No, you said you're going to play them. You're going to release the files. We want to know what's going on. What are you hiding? Oh, nothing to be hidden here, man. All right, you guys keep whining about these things. I don't know. People still talking about this. This is no big deal. It's the Clintons. It's Obama. It's slow Biden. Yeah. Not me. Okay. But guess what? The Most High said his ways is going to be known. His ways are going to be known. Let's stay in Proverbs. Proverbs 20, reading verse 17. Bread of deceit is sweet to a man, but afterwards his mouth shall be filled with gravel. See, that's so cold, man, because Israel can fall in that particular category too. Isaiah 30. Let me get this also as a precept. Isaiah 30, right? It says, bread of deceit is sweet to a man. See, our people love lies, man. You know that old saying where they say a lie will travel around the world before the truth gets out of bed? You know, people love lies. The lie is more entertaining than the truth. This is why you see our people love to hit the blogs and the rumor mill threads. They log it onto the shade room. They want to see what's on media takeout. They want to see what's happening with gossip and whatever other these rumor mills are. You know, reading the Inquirer and all these other damn magazines and tuning in the podcast because they want to hear the drama. They want to hear some BS. It goes on even within Israel. We have a propensity for drama. We got an itching ear when, hey man, his brother said he's about to expose these other brothers. And did you see that video, man? Yeah, brother, man, went in on them brothers, man. Was it edifying? Is that going to help your salvation? Did that help you stay in the commandments better? Sometimes it is. Sometimes it does. Sometimes, exposing brother, that may put the fear in you to say, I don't want to be like that. But 9 times out of 10, our people ain't looking for edification. They looking because they want to hear some drama. Whether it's true or not. Whether it's true or not. It's been lies said about me. I don't address it. The truth don't need to be explained. In times past. Like that's just what it is. Because I know and our people know, man, we have a propensity for blood and for lies. You know, our people grow fangs out, man. They smell a little blood, little drama. Oh yeah. What's going on over there? New meat? But the Lord said, why? Because the bread of deceit is sweet in their mouth, man. Everybody loves a nice little taste of a little lie, a little drama, a little deception. We love to be lied to. Look at the churches. Look at the churches. Look at how many people are people are getting subject to, all of these charlatan scammers online. Remember how big that was during the pandemic? Everybody was locked in the house, but you was getting them little stimulus checks. You know how many sharks came out the waters, man, and flooded through these digital streets? Saying, well, I'm a life coach. Oh, I can help you with your stocks. I can get you into this investment, that investment. Hey, trust me, I know what I'm doing. Send me your money. I got a new course on this, that, and the third. All the way to the point now, bro. Log into, join my Patreon and pay for this lesson. You got to be careful out there, man. Because why? Because there's an element of deception that always happens when people start looking after money, profiteering, attention. You know, they say attention is a new economy, right? But the point of the matter is that people love deception. People love to be lied to, right? Look at this, Isaiah 30:9, that this is a rebellious people, lying children that will not hear the law of the Lord. That's the mind state of Israel as a whole. Northern, Southern Kingdom, man, lying children, man. We love to lie to each other. We love to deceive each other. We love to, love to lie more than we love the truth. I used to always be on the streets, man. One challenge I put to my people, and I always used to say, hey, listen, if you love Christ, honk your horn. There'd be a car like 20, 30 people sitting in the car. You might hear 2 or 3 honks. Some may beep, 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 beep. Okay, cool. Come on over and get the word then. You love to, they ain't pulling over. I ain't done right now, brother. I ain't got time. I'll be back. Lying children. Hey, brother, hey, sister, man. Hey, check us out on the YouTube, blah, blah, blah. Call us. We're open to, fellowship and that. Yeah, brother, I'm going to call you, man. Y'all brothers are powerful, brother. You'll never hear from them. Your family, your friends telling you, yeah, I know. I knew y'all was on to something. Yeah, I've been watching. What was the video God uploaded last week, brother? I missed that one, but yeah, I'm gonna talk to you, brother. Lying children, man. Our people desire, even within our community, man. I hate to bash our community, but it is what it is. Everybody's saying we striving for the truth, we striving for the perfect, we striving for the kingdom. But meanwhile, man, the actions show differently, man. You see a whole lot of crabs in a barrel. You see a whole lot of drama going on within the community. You see a whole lot. Our people ain't trying to get up out of here. Some brothers is using this as platforms for ego and pride and to swell their finances and all. Some sisters is out here looking for husbands. Hey, look, this is not a damn Israelite hookup spot. Do not come into the truth looking for a husband, looking for a wife. You're supposed to be looking for Christ. You're supposed to be looking to change. You're supposed to be looking to repent. And the benefits that come along with it, you receive as the Most High blesses you, whether that's a husband, whether that's children, whatever the case may be. But your direct motives cannot be, well, I see them brothers on the street, them strong brothers, man, they fine too, girl. You better come over here. But shit, I'm tired of being single. I'm gonna give me one of these niggas. No, you're not. You're not finna come over there and cause a stir and, ruin some brother because he thinking, hey, man, sister came in with her head right, and vice versa. Brothers can't be predatory, looking for sisters, looking to add wives and all. It can be a mess. But do we have some good and positive things going on in the community? Absolutely. But the nature of our people, man, especially at this point, the Lord said, man, they be lying. Don't fall for the okie doke, man. Prove and try them as the scriptures command. Excuse me. Well, it says try, friends, so forth and so on. Because the Lord said, man, my people be lying. They don't want to hear the law of the Lord. This is why the churches is constantly telling everybody the laws are done away with. You ain't got to follow that no more. Oh, we're under grace and faith and we're already saved and all that. They don't want to hear the law of the Lord. That's the truth. Look at this. We'll say to the seer, see not. And to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things. Speak unto us smooth things. Prophesy deceits. This is why America can get away with lying and hypocrisies and the whole nine. This is why Trump can run around here and bump his gums, and because he knows people want to be lied to. He's been running around talking about the economy's fine, inflation is low, gas prices is down, food prices is down, everything is great. I can't tell. You can't tell, but it does not stop the lie. Remember Christy Nome? Yeah, the head of ICE. What did she just say a couple weeks ago? When the guy Preddy got unalived out there in the streets of Minnesota. She said he was on the streets brandishing a firearm. ICE took that as a threat, took him down, shot him in self-defense because they were scared. Blatantly just told you what you saw on video is not what you saw. That didn't happen. They will flat out tell you what you're seeing right now. That's not what you're seeing. Don't believe your eyes. Listen to what we're telling you. That's the truth. And then you got people sitting back here saying, yeah, you know what? I did see that. That was self-defense. Hey, what did he come out here with a gun for anyway? Now all of a sudden the narrative's flipped. This is what you call the Ministry of Truth. 1984. I've talked about it. Go check it out. Right is wrong. War is peace. All this other stuff, man. They give you a whole narrative to believe and flip the script, right? Let me get a couple more, and then we're gonna get to some of these other stories, man. Are y'all all right? Let me know. I'm ranting a little bit, but let me know if y'all all right. If I'm losing you, tell me so. Say, slow down, IQ, man. You tripping? Or you can say, hey, Con, brother's on point. Drop a comment. Let me know. Look at this. Wickedness is in the midst thereof. Deceit and guile depart not from our streets. This is the state of America. Wickedness is in the midst of us. You see it. We know it. We feel it. You smell it. You touch it. It's around you. Your spirit is just suppressed by it. You're constantly tripping, saying, damn, this place is wicked. Damn, this thing is wrong. I don't like what I'm seeing, man. Why are they showing my kids this on the TV? Deceit and guile depart not from our streets, man. This place is ruled by deceit, wickedness, guile, cunningness. This is why we got to always have our, antennas up, and we got to watch and see what's going on, because, I mean, this place is definitely full of deceit. This is why Yahweh even told us, ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free, because we're in a place that's going to rule by deceit and guile. And if you're not moving in the discerning spirit, you're not moving in the spirit of wisdom and knowledge and understanding, you're not moving in the spirit of understanding prophecy, the fear of God, and the commandments, our people are going to get swept away, man. And it's good to tell you, our people love lies. So that's how they want it. Job 15, let's read 34 and 35. For the congregation of hypocrites shall be desolate. Isn't America prophesied to be made desolate, destroyed? Why? Because America rules under the banners of hypocrisy. And fire shall consume the tabernacles of bribery. America has been prophesied to be destroyed via fire. The Most High even said that he made the covenant. I believe that's in, what is it? I believe it's in Genesis, the 9th chapter, regarding the covenant, the rainbow covenant. He says he's not going to destroy the earth by fire anymore. I mean, by water anymore, but by fire shall the next judgment come. And America is prophesied to be destroyed via fire, right? So why? Because this is the Fed case, the spiritual Fed case that the Most High is building against this place, man. Hypocrisy is running rampant in here. Deceit, guile, running rampant in here. Man, A.J. Owen said, I try to tell the truth when I can. I mean, what kind of man says that? Man? Either you say the truth or you not, or you say when you can. Who's holding you back, or what makes your tongue not profess the truth? Because he's a devil. And even when he does say the truth, he said, man, look, when he's speaking fair, believe him not. 7 abominations in his heart. He said, look, even if I tell you the truth, man, don't believe me. Never trust our enemy. But our people are so forgiving, so loving, so gullible that we run with it. Verse 35, they conceive mischief and bring forth vanity, and their belly prepare for deceit. So this is all going on in the bellies of America, right? Let me get a couple more, and I'm gonna get on with some of these other news stories. So we see what's happening with Iran, right? Look at the deceit. Proverbs 12 and 20. Deceit is in the heart of them that imagine evil. Remember that video clip I played a couple of weeks ago, man, when a reporter called Trump out? They said, are you ever going to, confess to all of the lies you've been telling? And he was like, what lies? What huh? Next question. Never even copped to it. Never even wanted to address any of his lies. I think I showed and all of his predecessors, it ain't just him. Slow Biden, they had a damn near list of 100 plus lies that he said since he was in office. Obama, they all lie. I remember, I think it was Dan Bongino some years ago. I remember seeing an interview with him. He's the assistant director to the FBI, I believe, unless they fired him. He might have been fired by now. But he said, the reason why he couldn't get into politics is because they make you lie. He has to lie. And that was something he wasn't comfortable with. So they always say, man, how do you know a politician is, how can you tell a politician is telling, or how do you know he's lying? They said when he moves his lips. Pile of tricks is what they call it. Politricks and all that. Why is it? Because the seed is in the heart of them. Why? Because they're only imagining evil. So when you see and you hear what's going on, it's all because he's imagining more evil. If he's telling us a lie, it's because there's evil behind it, right? Now let me give one more, and this is going to set the stage of why I said this may be why he pushes the panic button. Sirach 4:7, get thyself the love of the congregation. Now, does this fall into the place of politics? Absolutely, because even Isaiah 14 says that he calls, the country, the congregation or whatnot. Get thyself the love of the congregation. So this is not only advisory for leaders of flocks. You get the love of the congregation by being a diligent worker, by being steadfast, by being helpful, by advising via counsel, by teaching, by charity, hospitality. 1 Timothy 3 tells us all the natures of a bishop and what needs to happen, right? However, this does not mean that you compromise yourself for the congregation. You don't seek to please men, right? You don't seek to do things. Oh man, the body, the congregation wants to hear. The congregation needs this, and it could be all wrong, all wicked. Who knows what? You don't compromise that to satisfy the people. That's why the scriptures say, "Cursed be the man that trusts in man and make flesh his own." But that's one thing. The other thing is, Agent Orange now, because of this damning evidence and things that came out against it, he's going to seek the love of the congregation. Meaning he's going to do things that's going to make people now want to give favor back to him. So people's going to be raising their eyebrows, looking at him crazy if they're not already. You already see there's a splinter within the MAGA hats, and all of them is divided against each other right now. Tucker Carlson's coming against him. Nick Fuentes coming against him. All of his, constituents that was backing him and holding his scrotum sack. You dig what I'm saying? Now all of a sudden are washing their hands now. He still got some diehards, man, that's still, saying, look out, I'll grab him, I'll hold him for him. Condemning each other, right? They're eating each other alive, cannibalizing each other, man. The red and white hats, they got problems over there, right? But now he's going to do something that's going to change things, because he now is going to try to get the love of the congregation back. So what is he going to do to gain favor, to get himself back in alignment? Let's get back over here, right? So with that being understood, this is going to make a lot more sense as we continue on. So we see Iran coming out saying that they're prepared and they're ready for war. They ain't bowing down. They raised the red flag, meaning revenge of war. That means that something big could be brewing coming up. Now look at this. This is very important. I know it's hard to read. Right? Now this is an FBI confidential human. This is what they call a CHS. A confidential human source. This was contained, I believe, within the Epstein files, dated October 19, 2020. Down here, you'll see highlighted portions. Let me blow this up for you. Now, this is regarding who's being compromised and who's being caught up in this particular events that we're seeing play out, right? See down here is all surrounding Jeffrey Epstein, who is part of this whole constituency within his files that was been hidden and suppressed all this time, right? Harvard law professor Alan Dershowitz, CHS, learned that Dershowitz influenced many students from wealthy families. This is a whole deep rabbit hole, man. Look, there's no, and this particular document is only showing and proving. It's not arguing. There's nothing to argue about this. It's facts. Epstein was a Mossad agent. Mossad is like the equivalent of America's CIA. He was an agent of Mossad being used for coercion, blackmail, against various politicians, entertainers, bankers and financiers, so forth and so on. This guy was an agent. So he had a lot of blackmailing people. He was blackmailing people through their sexual, deviancies, blackmailing people through money and finance. Now it's being understood what's going on. Harvard law professor Alan Dershowitz, a confidential human source. So this is coming from a CI or a damn informant who's on the inside acknowledging and saying this is everything he's gathered and reported it to the FBI. Look at this. Just in case y'all wonder, FBI, Federal Bureau of Investigation. This is their confidential human source reporting. This is when they had to draw up their reports from their sources or their informants. Harvard law professor Alan Dershowitz, CHS, learned that Dershowitz influenced many students from wealthy families. For example, Josh Kushner and Jared Kushner. Remember Kushner, the same one who's heading up Operation Sunrise? Remember we played the videos of him last week when he got caught up? on 60 Minutes and them talking about how they want to redevelop Gaza and all that? Yeah, him. Agent Orange's son-in-law? Yeah, okay. They were both his students. Dershowitz told CHS that if he were young again, he would be holding a stun gun as an Israeli intelligence Mossad agent. CHS believed Dershowitz was co-opted by Mossad and subscribed to their mission. So we see how Mossad now has agents all within America. They're influencing through higher education institutions. Not only that, but future politicians too. Let's look at this. Just going to read this highlighted part right here. CHS, this same informant says, he advised that this was a real collusion story. Trump has been compromised by Israel, and Kushner is the real brains behind the organization and his presidency. So, you know, when Agent Orange says, I try to tell the truth when I can, you know, people wonder, well, who's calling, who's pulling the strings, who's infiltrating his mind? You know, people say, well, Stephen Miller was one of the voices in his ear. But also now this informant saying, well, no, his son-in-law is the one really, you know, in his ear. I mean, hey, look, Trump is down there pushing 80. You can see he's kind of slowing down, deteriorating. Every time he's like Jimmy 2 times out of the Goodfellas, where he has to say things twice now because, you know, mentally, man, he's probably breaking down like slow bike. Every time you see him speak, man, he always saying something like back to back. I don't know if he's, you know, making sure he said it or what's going on. We're gonna make a lot of money. Yeah, that you know what I'm talking about. You've heard him do it. But now there's an informant saying he's been compromised. Okay. Now, mind you, if he's been compromised by the small hats, who is pushing him to accelerate war with Iran? Making more sense now? Okay. Getting the love of the congregation, doing what he's told, doing the things that think is going to please the people. All right. Let's move on. Let's see. Okay, so U.S. carrier Lincoln arrives in Middle East amid Iran tensions. So he's making good. That armada of ships was coming over there. He's going to come down to make threats towards Iran to try to bully them into backing down off of their stance regarding nuclear energy, nuclear warfare, so forth and so on, right? Let's move on. Trump warns Iran time is running out for a nuclear deal as the U.S. military builds up in the Gulf. He's not worried about, remember, the truth always comes out. Remember, he first starts saying, make Iran great again. It was about MIGA. I didn't say nigga. MIGA. Hello? Make Iran great again. Remember, he was trying to market that. Oh, he was on support of the protesters and felt so bad for the executions of the poor Iranians out there in the streets, man. And, you know, the oppressive dictators over there in Iran, man, they need to get a grip, and that ain't fair. We're going to save those people. Now, all of a sudden, it's about Iran and their nuclear power, you know, their aspirations for nuclear power and war. Just like with Venezuela. Oh, it's about the drugs. Then all of a sudden, it's about the oil. You see how that works? That's the hypocrisy. That's the lie. Remember, say he that imagined deceit. I mean, he that speaketh deceit is imagining evil. So what's up with him? Evil. That's what's up with it. See, the time is running out for a nuclear deal. What happened to the protests? What about you trying to help their economy? What about trying to, you know, build them up and have them be a freestanding nation again? And where is that at? Oh no, it's about nuclear deal. Who's most concerned with that? Israel. And not the true people. I'm talking about the small hat AstroTurf people over there living a lie. Donald Trump has warned Iran that time is running out to negotiate a deal on its nuclear program following the steady buildup of U.S. military forces in the Gulf. Now, is he trolling? Could he be out here throwing out a veiled threat, hoping that Iran backs down? Maybe. He's done that in times past. We know he's a taco. He loves tacos. He's always chickening out. But if we're hearing Iran correctly, they saying we ain't backing down. And we ain't licking the boot, man. We're sick of drinking that damn cup. So what did he do? He said a massive armada is moving quickly with great power, enthusiasm, and purpose. They've arrived. That armada's arrived, right? So everything's going according to plan so far. Iran threatens to sink the USS Abraham Lincoln as the Middle East edges closer to a cataclysmic showdown. These are all stories that I had prior to the video I played at the top with the explosions happening in Iran, which right now they have no conclusive evidence of what they were, how they originated. They're trying to figure it out. So this is what's going on, right? Iran saying they're going to sink the Armada. They probably trolling with that too. They ain't not finna do that, but we'll see. I mean, we are living in a time of prophecy, last days. Somebody's got to push the panic button. Somebody's got to do something. So we can't go off of in times past, Iran would say something and do the opposite. Iran would back down. Everybody, we don't know. The Most High may be like, nah, this is it. This is it. I'm going to make them do what they typically would back down on. Remember, the Most High said that he could make the nations his rod of anger and indignation, whether they like it or not, just like with Russia being hooks in their jaws. Anything is possible. Iran deploys terrifying army of 1,000 drones as fears of an imminent U.S. attack explode. Yeah, they have reports saying that China, who was it? China and two other countries, I can't recall off the top of my head, that they've been told, evacuate out of Iran, something's about to go down. They tell them, hey, get up out of there. An imminent attack is about to happen. They told them that last week, or it was either last week or earlier this week. So the nations now are being told, you got embassies over there, people over there, get them out of there because something is about to go down. Iran is poised to respond to a potential U.S. airstrike after reportedly deploying 1,000 new strategic drones across its military forces. Iranian state news agency Tasnim, which is connected to the country's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, reported the news of the military strategy. Iranian leadership swiftly responded to the president's messages, stating, a limited strike is an illusion. Any military action from America, from any origin at any level, will be considered the start of war. So once we find out the nature of those explosions that we've seen at the start of the lesson, if it's connected at all to America or Israel, according to Iran, it's up. Now, notice they already asked Israel, hey, you behind this? Wasn't us. So either they're going to cover it up and say, oh, it was another gas explosion. Oh, yeah, maybe it was an accident. No, nobody. Or they're going to say, we got every reason to believe that this was an inside attack. This is, planted bombs. Who knows? Then we'll see if they line it up. They say any military action from America, from any origin and at any level, they said they're going to consider it the start of the war. Now, Iran has already said they're already fighting a three-pronged. They're already in war with America, Israel, right now. They just ain't got kinetic where they out there, going head up like that. It's economic, it's propaganda, and now we're seeing if it's going to go all the way to full-blown conflict. Now it says, and its response will be immediate, all out, and unprecedented, targeting the heart of Tel Aviv and all supporters of the aggressor. Remember when Netanyahu a couple weeks ago told Trump, "Hey, fall back. No, don't light them up yet. We're not ready." Because they know the first thing that's getting hit is American bases in Iran and close by Syria, wherever else, and they're going to hit up the small hats. And Netanyahu told them, hold on. So Iran is already telling them, we're gonna light your astroturf butts up. If we're not looking towards America right now. We're gonna hit them wherever we can in our region. They're not going to launch nothing that's going to hit over here yet. They're just letting it be known, hey, we got the technology, we got the ICBMs that can reach over there. Now, whether they've been tested or not, that remains to be seen. But this is why when it says that Agent Orange has been compromised by the small hats, that means he's going to do their bidding. So when you hear a threat coming from them, Israel's going to say, did you hear what they said? They're going to hit us. You better do something about it or else. And now Agent Orange got to do something about it. U.S. warns Iran over planned military drills close to American forces as Trump weighs action. So yeah, Iran has already been laying out plans and they're getting ready to run military drills right near where American troops are at, near this little Spanish the Spanish Armada. Yeah, they're the same people, but this Armada of ships from America. United States warned Iran on Saturday over its plans to conduct live fire drills close to U.S. forces in the region as partners sought to de-escalate rising tensions between the two nations. Iran announced Friday that its Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps was conducting a 2-day live fire naval exercise in the Strait of Hormuz, a vital shipping lane that handles about 20% of global supply. So this is Iran flexing a little bit, letting it be known like, hey, you want to play? Okay. Well, we're going to run some military drills, live fire. Don't get in the way. And America said, hey, you better not. That's too close for comfort. What are y'all trying to do? Well, they letting it be known. That's a flex. We're going to see if America buckles. Don't let something happen. Oh, it was a drill. Sorry about that. America ain't taking sorry. Now look at this. Onslaught continues. Cruel Putin ignores ceasefire announced by Trump. Yeah, last week, Russia had agreed to a 1-week ceasefire with Ukraine. That's what, Agent Orange popped out and said. Immediately, Putin went back and did what he did. So you gave Trump the middle finger as soon as he turned his back and hung up the phone. That's so you, man. America does not have the power to control that they used to have. Influence, the intimidation, that's out of here. Why? Because the Most High has shifted the spirit of the nations against America now. Cruel. Putin ignores ceasefire announced by Trump as Russia pounds Ukraine's freezing cities while Zelensky, quote, dares Vlad, right? So look, this also gives more credence to the fact that the Most High has the hooks in the jaws of Putin. Like when he says he ignored it, he ain't got no choice. The Most High told him, hey, hang that phone up. Forget what he's talking about. Forget what you're thinking. Get back to bombing. Now look at this. Vladimir Putin unleashed another wave of strikes on Ukraine despite promises to Donald Trump to halt his massacre during the dead of winter. See, they lie to each other. So even they lie to each other, man. There's a precept in Isaiah 14. Look at this. Isaiah 14:18. It says, all the kings of the nations, even all of them, lie in glory. Do you see that word? L-I-E? That's not like someone's lying down. They all deceive in their glory. They all lie. As they say, man, to the victor go the spoils. To the victor, usually the storylines of history goes. No, America, Egypt, all of them. When they're the victor, they control the narrative of how the battles go. Sometimes we can't even trust a lot of the histories that's been written because it's been written by the victors. Vital history gets more proven when there's, primary or first-hand accounts of observers that's telling you what they seen go down. Not necessarily from the sources, because sometimes they may not tell you the whole truth. But notice it says here, even all of them lie in glory, everyone in his own house. So what did we just see here? Putin just lied. Vladimir Putin unleashed another wave of strikes on Ukraine despite promises to Donald Trump to halt his massacre during the dead of winter. So yeah, they supposedly had a week long truce that was supposed to happen, and what? Putin lied in his glory, as the scriptures say they're going to do. Air raid, sirens blasted across the country in Kharkiv, Dnipro, Kupiansk, and other devastated cities overnight, forcing people to flee to shelters in sub-zero temperatures. It comes as Zelensky says, "I'm publicly inviting Putin to Kiev if he dares, of course." I mean, you see, they playing games, man. Especially Zelensky. He know damn well it's over with over there, man. The only thing he's saying, I'm inviting you over here to slaughter more of my men. Okay. So we see how Trump is getting disrespected publicly by Putin. Putin lied to him in his face, went back bombing, middle finger to him, told him, man, get up out of here, man. Quit trying to talk about what you want done over here. That's out. And we beefing for good, we beefing forever until the Most High says, Putin, launch. Xi, launch. What's the little dude over there in North Korea? Trump called him Little Bomb Man, the head of North Korea. Why is his name fleeing from me right now? Kohath, I know you got it. You always making sure my memory's on point. What's the leader in North Korea? Ashar, somebody help me. There you go. Kim Jong-un. Subsequently, good looking out. Kim Jong-un, yeah. Until the Most High tell, hey, launch. I had told the Khomeini over there, Iraq, launch. Until then, they ain't no. Trump ain't talking about his board of peace and all that he was talking about over there. Davos, man, get out of here with that. That's out. Key Gulf allies say they won't aid the U.S. in an Iranian airstrike, limiting Trump's options. Yeah, Saudi Arabia already backed down and said, nope, we ain't doing that. We're standing with Iran because you know what? Look, part of that comes into play. Where we at? Sirach 15, I believe. And oh no, Shalaki. Second Ezra 15. See, look at this damn thing. It's pulling up everything but. Second Ezra 15. Now, if y'all remember, Saudi Arabia said that they weren't, they're not complying. Now, back in the day, Saudi Arabia, Iran used to have beef. Now look at this. Sirach 15:28. Behold, an horrible vision and appearance thereof from the east. For the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots, and the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon the earth, that all they which hear them may fear and tremble. Also the Carmanians is Iran. Ranging and the Persians, right? Ranging in wrath shall go forth as wild boars of the wood, and with great power shall they come and join battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. So this is all part of the prophecy where we're seeing that these particular nations, there was wars that they had back in the day, but in the spirit, they also are going to come together again, but coming together, not battling against each other. They're going to come together now in a united battle. Now, one thing's for sure, two things for certain. We seen a couple of years ago, the beef between Iran and the UAE and Saudi Arabia was ceased with the assistance of China. China came in and mediated and ceased the beef between them, right? So this is why you see Saudi Arabia saying, although we're allies with America and we got the petrodollar and oil agreements and all the other stuff, we're not going against our fellow Muslim brothers. If we have to choose between America and our allegiances to Islam and our histories, we're going over here. And no, you can't use our airspace. No, you can't come over here, America, and help destroy and break our covenant. That's deep. That's powerful, man. So they already told them. Saudi Arabia and the UAE says the U.S. can't use their airspace for a military operation against Iran because eventually they're going to come together against America too. I think it's Jeremiah 25. I tell you the Arabs, the Mingle people, they're all going to come together against said place. Saudi Arabia on Tuesday ruled out the use of its airspace and territory for potential U.S. attack on Iran, complicating the Trump administration's options in response to Tehran's violent crackdown against Iranian protesters. See that? So they're coming together. The Dragons of Arabia, the Carmanians, or the Iranians, they're all coming together when it comes to matters of war. And they say, no, we're not going to have it. You can't use us, America, in this thing. So this is where you see the relations are deteriorating. Look at this. The plans to turn Europe into a new superpower. Even the European, this is after the Davos meetings and all this other stuff, right? The EU now, the 10 horns that we've been talking about that for the past 3 weeks. How they're now separating themselves, imagining and understanding of life without America. They're saying we have to assemble and create our own superpower, minus America, if that's the case. So they left with uncertainty. They left feeling as though we can't count on this mother of harlots anymore. We might have to build up our own, which is only going to be in direct opposition to America, China, and Russia. Look at this. At an emergency summit of European Union leaders in Brussels, the building blocks of an empire were beginning to take shape. Remember, because even Revelation 17, it says these all had power with the beast, but they never had a complete rulership. Paraphrasing. So they all have been given a dispensation of power and authority, but they never were able to rule. So this is why the 10 horns are going to hate the whore, because they're realizing, oh, this whole done changed up on us. Well, I guess we're going to have to come together to face that. Look, Donald Trump's threats over Greenland have exposed Europe's weakness. Russia's Vladimir Putin is waging war on its eastern flank. China's Xi Jinping is a relentless competitor in a brutal new age of world powers. The EU wants to build a bigger, richer, stronger, quote, super Europe that is able to resist the dangerous whims of the globe's autocrats. Okay. So this goes along with the prophecy. The 10 horns is trying to establish power and dominance so that they can build up a resistance to America and anyone else that can pose a threat to them. Boom. The EU and India clinch mother of all deals in a rebuff to Trump. Oh, look at that. Now we know India is in alignment with the BRICS economy. They're building up. And notice this. Look, if you don't lead with anything, you see all the nations now are coming up against America, man. Even all of their longtime constituents, all of their longtime covenantal partners. What's it saying, Obadiah? Verse 7. All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. That's going to be the ultimate goal. They're going to be brought down, right? All the men of the confederacy. You want to read Psalms 83? You see all the confederacy, all the nations that come against them. The 10 horns in Revelation 12 and Revelation 13. Daniel, the 7th chapter. 2nd Ezra, the 12th chapter. These are all the nations now. You're seeing them all taking shape. Everything's happening according to the plan of the Most High. All praises, right? So the EU now is even lining themselves up with India, trying to create their own deal, because remember, they're trying to create a super Europe, cutting themselves off. They're weaning themselves off of that poison titty milk of that harlot, looking for new masters. You dig what I'm saying? Look, the European Union and India concluded a free trade agreement after almost 2 decades of negotiations, part of an effort to deepen economic ties that has gained momentum due to the Trump administration's aggressive tariff policies. Yeah, because you know what? That's his main thing. That 6-letter word tariff, man, he's been throwing that around like heavyweights. You don't like what he got to say, you ain't going along with the program. 100% tariffs on you, China. 100% tariffs on you, Canada. You don't like it, I'm hitting Europe with tariffs. If you don't give me Greenland. So they saying, guess what, man? F you and your tariffs. We can negotiate and we'll build with each other. We'll establish our own economy. We'll cut you off. And then see how you like it. See what happens. We have concluded the, quote, mother of all deals. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen said Tuesday in a social media post. The head of the EU executive, who was in New Delhi to mark the moment with European Council President Antonio Costa, added that the accord, quote, created a free trade zone of 2 billion people with both sides set to benefit. So here they are excluding America with trade agreements, trying to circumvent any threat of tariffs so that they can still have their economy freewheeling and doing what they got to do. And they said, we've got the benefit of 2 billion people, speaking about India, to establish an economy. And we know that Trump don't like the BRICS. America is the BRICS is set up to destabilize the dollar and the hegemony that the dollar has and control over the earth. So if the EU now is aligning themselves with BRICS, like, what's that mean? EU, the BRICS, which is including Brazil, Russia, India, and China, economically, they're creating a union. Now, militarily, the EU still got NATO. NATO ain't with Russia. There's still some confusion with that, but one thing for sure, two things for certain, we know that all of those nations is going to come up against America. And we see it here. They're starting with economic relations. Soon that will develop into military relations. Let's continue. What's going on with this ICE thing, man? They're going to spend too much time on it. Y'all see it. They've got protests going on in LA right now. Last night, today, they wilding out. It's still lit up there in Minnesota. This is being used as a method to stir the pot. The echoes of civil wars being talked about, civil uprisings, sedition. This is why he's looking at, he's speaking about Agent Orange. He's going to have to do something to get things back under control. Now, digitally, we're seeing oppression hidden. TikTok users are saying they can't upload anti-ICE videos. The company says it's tech issues. How convenient. When TikTok was owned by Moab, remember that whole little situation where they had to ban TikTok? They were talking about the TikTok ban, and America said, either you sell it to us or we're going to boot you up out of America. You're cutting off the apps, and you're going to suffer from advertisements and everything else. And they eventually, I believe, sold to Palantir, or Palantir's part owners, which we know that they're the digital surveillance arm of America now. So all you TikTokers that love it, hey, you've been sucked into another, wormhole of surveillance and monitoring and censorship, and you name it. Because now, look, TikTok users are saying they can't upload anti-ICE videos. And the company saying, oh, it's just a technical issue. All other videos are being able to get uploaded. Why the ones that have anything to do with ICE? You can't upload. Comedian Megan Stalter, who posts absurd character skits to an audience in the high hundreds of thousands across Instagram and TikTok, tried sharing a different kind of video on Saturday night. Driven by the death of Alex Preddy, the nurse shot by a federal immigration agent or agents that day, she had recorded herself urging her fellow Christians speak out against ICE raids in Minneapolis. We have to abolish ICE, Stalter said in the video. I truly believe that is exactly what Jesus would do. Anyway, on Instagram, the video was reposted more than 12,000 times, but her plea never made it to TikTok. In a follow-up post on Instagram, she says she had attempted to upload the video to TikTok several times with no success. Then had given up and deleted her TikTok account entirely, believing her account was being censored because it was about ICE. That's one thing, right? So here we go. Them being able to isolate particular content, blocking your ability to share or upload certain things. That's just this is just a cover Because remember, you double back on that NSPM 7. I encourage all of y'all to go back over that and make sure that that stays in your mind, because that's going to be a highlight point for them to be able to establish oppression like this. See, it starts with, oh, it's the ICE stuff. Oh, now it's going to be about your religious content. It's going to be about your anti or your feelings about America, your feelings about the government. In other words, your freedom of speech, your First, Second Amendments is going to be compromised. I mean, even Agent Orange, man, he got caught on, I ain't going to say caught. He said it openly regarding the Alex Preddy situation. He was getting ready to get on, I think he was getting ready to get on a helicopter or something. They was asking him about the situation. And he was like, yeah, it's unfortunate, it's tragic, but you can't have guns. You can't have guns. And the reporter yelled out and said, what about the Second Amendment? And he said, yeah, you can't have guns. Now, is that a Freudian slip? Was he just, again, caught in the moment of being, Jimmy 2 times where he got to keep saying, repeating stuff? Or was he trying to send a message saying that, there's going to be an issue with people bringing lawful firearms to protest, or just the fact that you have a lawful firearm? Now he's saying, no, you can't do that anymore. And there's been videos and people, I think even the Young Turks and them made videos talking about how hypocritical is this? When you had Kyle Rittenhouse, remember he crossed state lines with the AR to go support the people that was against who was it? The Antifa with the Michael Brown situation. Remember the little young Edomite, like 18, crossed state lines with the AR. They let him off. He bringing guns and shot somebody. And now all of a sudden, this guy comes out, lawful firearm, because it's tucked in his waistband and it wasn't in a holster or whatever. I guess they tried to act like he was criminalized, but he had every right to have it. Didn't pull it out. And the truth is the truth. I ain't gonna be so harsh and so radical because he's an Edomite. Oh man, don't defend him. He's an Edomite. It's the truth is, because the next one could be you, could be me. They a lot of times use their own people as a plate, the platelist or the platelet to be examined. What eventually is going to happen to us, but we've already been going through that. They now are starting to feel the other side of the boot, on the other side of the gun, the other side of the baton, the other side of the taser. And theirs gets blown up and gets protested. I mean, how many protests we've had over the years that was about blacks and Hispanics have been abused or even unalived by the police? Now it's happening to them. Now it's, now we got to highlight it. Point of the matter is that it's going to this is going to happen to you, me, whatever. You could be in a state where you are lawfully allowed to carry, and they're going to say, you can't do that. And here's the problem. And then when people try to get online to speak about it, censor that, shut that down, don't allow them to share it, track and monitor their movements, notify their boss. And I was going to speak about something. I had a conversation, a one-on-one meeting with my boss. And we never talked nothing political, nothing before. All of a sudden, man, she was trying to bait me into talking about this particular incident, bait me into talking about, why do people hate so much and da-da-da-da-da, and that isn't right, and people should be allowed to do it. And I'm saying, you trying to bait me into defending or saying something that, and I had to tame my tongue. But it's interesting how, even those things, you got to be wise, y'all, especially in today's climate and times, man. They're going to try to bait you into saying something on your job so they can track you and say, oh, get him. You heard what he said? You heard our views? Yeah. Remember, they already actually getting 80 people getting 86 just over their views and thoughts about the Charlie Kirk situation. Remember, J.D. Vance was like, you see, hear something, say something. We don't want those type of people having free voices on the internet. We don't want them people speaking about something. Be careful out there, y'all, because they out there tracking and monitoring, and they trying to bait you into saying something. Now look at this. Democrats vow not to fund ICE after shooting imperiling a spending deal. So remember I just showed y'all earlier in the video, they were talking about the government shutdown, right? There's a partial shutdown right now. Now this article came out at least a week before the shutdown actually hit. One particular point that they are not trying to cross over is the Democrats saying we'll stop and create the shutdown because we're not going to fund ICE. We're not signing nothing that's going to give them more power, more money. That initially alone can create a government shutdown. So it's partial right now, but the Democrats already said they're not. If it comes down to us or them funding ICE, and that is what prevents a shutdown, start the shutdown because we ain't funding it. So that could be a problem moving forward. Key Senate Democrats said they would oppose legislation needed to avoid a government shutdown at the end of the week after federal agents shot and killed a Minneapolis resident. Bipartisan legislation to fund a broad swath of government and avert a shutdown at the end of the week appeared to be in grave danger on Saturday, as key Senate Democrats vowed to oppose it after federal agents shot and killed a Minneapolis resident, rapidly escalating opposition to the measure, which includes a $64.4 billion for the Department of Homeland Security, including $10 billion going to ICE, amplified the likelihood of a partial government shutdown at the end of the month. The legislation requires the support of Democrats to muster the 60 votes needed to avoid a filibuster in advance of the Senate. So here they go. They're already talking about get prepared for another shutdown. If it comes down to the funding of ICE, Democrats are going to stand on 10 toes and they ain't doing it. So let's see what happens economically. This is what I'm saying. Why he may push the panic button. Because now the Democrats are saying we're going to hold you hostage and stop your secret police, your Gestapo. We're not going to fund that no more. So he's going to have to do something to shift the climate to make them do it. So does that mean more riotous behavior and sedition happening throughout the country and them green lighting it, or them sending in some agent provocateurs to do it? You already seen the website where you can organize a crowd and get out there and stir up the pot. You notice all of a sudden they just started protesting in LA out of nowhere. Yesterday and into today. I mean, they was already doing it before, but it's been quiet on the streets out here for a while now. Now all of a sudden when the shutdown hits, they'll be at the federal buildings, wilding out. Now you watch other states gonna follow suit. And then it's gonna look like, oh, Democrats, you don't want us to fund this to stop all of this madness? Look, you guys are the bad guys. And then all of a sudden the MAGA hats and everybody else start looking and saying, oh man, the Republicans is right. The Democrats is out here causing chaos in the streets and they won't fund something that's gonna stop it. See how that works? It's all politics, man. Look at this. This also shows you, man, where that 60 billion that's going to, or what was it, 5 billion? How much? Hold on. 10 billion, Salaki, going to ICE. Part of it is this. Based on recent reports, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, has planned a $100 million, quote, wartime recruitment campaign. Did you hear that? Wartime recruitment. ICE is saying they're declaring war. Who are they warring against? The immigrants who's running? The immigrants is getting hunted down at their jobs, laundromats, car washes, bus stops? Are they at war with other quote unquote U.S. citizens and police? Because now you're seeing the Minnesota police and other police departments, man, is New York. They're rising up against ICE. They like, hey man, y'all can't do that here. Nope, that's not lawful. No, you can't come in here. Nope, stop. So the spirit of civil war is even there. And they're saying we got $100 million for wartime recruitment. To what? To boost hiring with a significant portion allocated toward leveraging online influencers. Hello? Do you hear that? This is part of the propaganda. This is part of the marketing. This is part of the social media conditioning and the mental games that they playing, the social experimentation that they're doing. They're paying online influencers to be pro-ICE, pro-Trump. Just like when Slow Biden had his TikTok army and all that, man, they're utilizing these same people, man. This is why people are all in cahoots. Your favorite influencer, your favorite podcaster and all them, all of a sudden you start hearing them switching up. So it's some money behind that. You start hearing people that used to say one thing and speaking something else. Might be some money behind it. So there 100 mils on the deck to leverage online influencers and social media content to support its mission. Look at this, influencer focus. ICE allocated approximately $8 million of its recruitment budget to pay influencers, content creators, and live streamers, particularly on platforms popular with conservative audiences like Rumble. So, people say, oh, YouTube is compromised. I'm going to Rumble. Rumble's compromised too, man. These guys, man, that all act like they the purists and, we're the conservatives. We're unpaid media and, grassroots, and you're just lying. They're getting money on the low. And all of a sudden now they're pro-ICE, or they're sympathizers for Trump, or they're sympathizers for their oppression, and they're making excuses for what happened out there on the streets. And you sit back saying, why are they taking us to this? No, I don't agree with that. That's crazy. But whoever they can get to go along with the collusion, or as long as they're out there putting it out there in the spirit, man, people are gonna jump at that opportunity, man. $8 million on the table. Imagine you got a little influencer channel, whatever. You got a couple 100,000 followers, or you got 100 people on your live stream, or 200 people on your live stream, and somebody drops a dime on you, says, "Hey man, we love what you're doing with your channel, but if you can kind of switch up your views, man, or at least help influencing people to not be so against the government, blah blah blah. You got a $50,000 check for you." And there's more of that where that came from. And you sitting back saying, damn, you looking at the bill, they looking at you, they saying 50,000 to say what? Where do I sign? Send the money. People are getting compromised out there, man. And they acknowledge it, saying that the bread is there. Look at this. Targeted outreach. The campaign specifically targets users interested in, quote, patriotic podcasts, country music, fitness, and true crime, as well as attendees of NASCAR races, UFC fights, gun and trade shows, using geofencing technology that push ads to their phones. And you may say, as Israelites, man, well, I don't participate in none of that. A lot of Israelites be watching, these anti-gun, Edomites and Patriot channels and Redacted and all that. I watch some of them too. Not all of them. I'm not subscribed to none of them, but once you lock into one, they all on your feed. And not saying all of them are, but that's who they target. You start seeing them flipping the script and they all of a sudden talking crazy, or they pro this, pro that, and you wonder like, well, hold on, you used to be this way. You know what happened. Look at the incentive. The recruitment effort offers potential new agents up to a $50,000 signing bonus and up to $60,000 in a student loan repayment. So this is why you see these untrained cats out here, man, masked up, shades on, hats low, armed to the teeth, acting like, knuckle dragging brutes out there, man, not tripping, chasing down, tracking down, doing whatever they want to do, with rewards at the end of the day. If you pop somebody, yeah, that guy that shot Alex, the Edomite woman, y'all seen a couple weeks ago, so he didn't raise $1 million of sympathy money through crowdfunding. Edomite woman up there in Minnesota called the little Ethiopian kid or Somalian kid a nigga, and the pops too and all that. He didn't got it. She got damn near 800,000 of sympathy money. So look at that. Hold on. Let me highlight this. Because brother, I didn't see the video yet, but I'm gonna check it out. But lucky y'all. Where's the comment? Here we go. Now you see that? 45 days of training before they get put out in the streets. A little bit over a month to be a federal agent. Imagine that. Do you think that they've been given proper training for de-escalating? You think they've been given proper training in regards to, properly using their weapon? And no. They getting put out there, man, dropped out there, man, 45 days of training. And they said a lot of them cats, man, is failing the aptitude test and the physical training test, but they still pushing them through. I showed y'all, man, was a cat from Superman, Dean Cain. He fresh out of a broke actor. He said, man, I need some money. I'm about to go out there and be ICE. Can you imagine? So these is cats, man, straight off the streets, man. There's been rumors that some of them is what do you call it? Proud Boys. Who knows? We already know that a lot of the right wing skinheads and all them up, they are been infiltrated into corporate buildings, police, the whole nine. I mean, there's no screening with all that stuff, man. These cats is out here on the streets, man, wreaking havoc, and their identities can be concealed. They're being defended at every level, even in video. The head of their department telling you didn't see what you just saw. Even Agent Orange had to backtrack and was like, yeah, that did look a little excessive. I know what I said at first, but it looked kind of bad. Yeah, see, unbelievable. Look at this. Zuckerberg puts ICE info on ICE. Oh yeah, your favorite small hat, the one that runs Facebook and Instagram. He's concealing. Puts the info on ICE. Instagram, Facebook, and Threads block links about agents as backlash grows over Alex Petty killing. We already know that he's willing to be compromised because remember what happened when the Hunter Biden laptop and all the other stuff, after that all went down, he came on the news and said, you know what? Yeah, we got reached out to by the FBI and we were told to suppress anything regarding the laptop, and we banned anybody speaking about this. And during the COVID times, we definitely complied with what we were being told. And in hindsight, do I think it was right? No, I shouldn't have did it, but I'm sorry. Remember that? So now here he goes again saying, you get reached out to again. So that lets you know, man, social media is compromised and government controlled. So when they talk about ICE, he said, look, we're suppressing anything that's talking about ICE, anybody trying to out these agents, and you can't spread it on none of these things. After being available for months, information about ICE agents is suddenly being blocked today on Meta-owned platforms, Instagram, Facebook, and Threads. We restrict certain activity to protect our community. What community? The community of ICE? The community of the private police? The Gestapo? What? Or the community that, has the ability. They say, man, the internet sleuths and the detectives and the Sherlock Holmeses of the internet, man, will find anything and everything about somebody if they need to. So don't let some information get out. Somebody get a screenshot of a ICE agent whose mask was off. They running it through the facial recognition and popping it out. Oh, this guy's real name is Jerry Stefanski, and he lives in Chicago, and he used to be this, that, and the third, and he's got charges of being a PDF file back when he was, the internet will get you fast. And now Zuckerberg, they told her, hey man, you better comply. Block and restrict anybody trying to out these people, man. Can you imagine? And here they go. They get full immunity to do anything and everything, and they're protected at every level. You can't say nothing about them online. You can't videotape them when they're out there on the streets. Remember that? A couple weeks ago, they said it is illegal now to film ICE. They're saying if you're out on the street with a camera, you're being an agitator and a provocateur because you're exercising your free right to use the phone, which has a camera, to film. citizen journalism, all that is out the door. When it comes down to monitoring and watching ICE, and this is your tax dollars, my tax dollars that's paying these cats to go out here and do what they doing, and they're saying you can't even monitor your employee. But we'll monitor you, and if you say or do anything that we don't like, you're fired. You're canceled. Your account is frozen. You dig what I'm saying? Like, this is just setting the stage for the beast system, the enforcers of the beast system, man, and the limitations that they're placing on everybody. So look, let's continue. I got a lot more to go to. I know time was of the essence, but hey, look, you got to ride with me, y'all. Experts say the divide between Minnesota and federal authorities is unprecedented. So this is what I was talking about earlier. The federal authorities and the state police and ICE now, they're bumping heads. Look, new Minnesota website lays out evidence to counter what officials have called federal misinformation after immigration agents fatally shot 2 residents during the Trump administration's immigration crackdown, deepening an unprecedented divide, experts say Monday. So yeah, remember the scriptures say a nation divided against itself can't stand. So these 2 Edomites, man, they met their demise at the hand of ICE. Look, Esau, when one of their own get put there, they battening down the hatches, man. They going all in. You know, if it was another black Hispanic, they'd just continue protesting. It'd have been. They hitting the federal officials. They hitting every damn media website. They doing all kind of investigations. They going at it. Don't hit one of theirs. All hell breaks loose. Us, it's an unfortunate incident. This is terrible. These people are constantly being victimized, but you know, Esau will sit back and say, yeah, let niggas yell. Let them protest. Let them light a few fires, man. They're gonna do it to their own community, their own neighborhoods. Let them do that. When they calm down, we'll have control over them again. But here they're taking it to governmental levels, man. The police now is like stepping in, saying, "Hey, this ain't right." Right? Look at this. Jimmy Garule, a law professor at the University of Notre Dame, said he saw turf battles and other disagreements when he was a federal prosecutor working with local authorities on task forces in Los Angeles, and again, when he was an undersecretary at the U.S. Treasury Department overseeing law enforcement operations under George W. Bush. But he said the situation in Minnesota is unprecedented in his experience. The disagreements were always handled behind the scenes. There were never any public statements criticizing other agencies. See that? If they had any problems, they talk about behind closed doors. Now they're out and they say, man, F that. We don't like y'all. We don't like what you're doing. You doing this illegally, da 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 da. And now they're on the table. It's unprecedented what's happening. It's not even a question of collaboration at this point. It's such a broken relationship. How did it get to this point where state and local law enforcement have such little trust in the federal agencies they feel they need to go to court? You see that? State and local law enforcement now are going up against the feds. All praise to the Most High when Christ said, man, a nation divided against itself cannot stand. We ran high-level U.S. Civil War simulations. Minnesota is exactly how they start. Developments in Minnesota closely mirror a scenario explored in 2020 at the Center for Ethics and Rule of Law at the University of Pennsylvania. So the Center of Ethics and Rule of Law at the University of Pennsylvania, they ran multiple Civil War simulations, put in all the information, all the facts, all the incidences, whatever. Everything turned out that there will be a civil war, based upon all of the information that they inputted into the simulation. So they're saying what happened in Minnesota, if you're trusting in the analytics and trusting into this, this computer model, civil war is on the table, y'all. And I'm gonna leave it at that. If Christ said, nation gonna rise against nation, Ezra said, sedition amongst men is gonna happen. We know civil war is inevitable, right? Even the damn computers and AI is saying, yeah, If everything you telling me and everything you inputting into me and all the information I'm gathering and surfing the net historically is going on, yeah, this is the thing that can start a civil war. America at a boiling point, deaths, threats, protests, and a town hall attack. Yeah, you seen that town hall attack? Where the Elon Omar, the little Somalian what is she, like a city councilman, a city council woman or something like that? The cat stormed in on her little press conference and threw some vinegar at her. I mean, when public officials are being subjected to being invaded or violated that close, J.D. Vance's house got hammered in with the windows busted out and all that. They caught the little Edomite that did it. You've seen various lawmakers getting put to death, judges getting smoked on their, in their driveways and all that. People now are not, being scared to go up against public officials. Agent Orange got, he got popped in the ear. If you believe the official story, right? So when Second Ezra tells us about sedition amongst the people, and everybody's going to do, what's in the power of their hands to do, we're seeing all of those scenarios playing out in the spirit, festering up and building up even more. Yeah, you seen that? Naquan, he threw that little vinegar on the man. She ran after him like she was getting ready, to get at him. But that is a little different spirit that we've seen from previous politicians, man. Grown man Edomite, you seen them duck down and cower down, and Secret Service jump in front of him and all that. That little heathen, man, she jumped up like, what? Went after him. That was interesting. But nonetheless, what they call it, the boiling point. Why? Because America is known as what? The melting pot. This is the place where you can have a whole little gumbo of religion, idolatry, fornication, all manner of races. The liquid is the wrath of the fornication, and it's stirring the pot. It's bubbling over now. So it's telling you the spirit of America, man, is at its boiling point. Something is going to give. Something is going to overflow. It's just a matter of time. Whether you can acknowledge it as a false flag, a black swan, a prophesied event. Something is going to go down soon. This may be the thing that does it. Here's one. Finally got him. Just if y'all didn't see this, and I'm just gonna give you the headline. This is why them files was getting withheld. This is why they didn't want some of this stuff out. Jeffrey Epstein says Bill Gates caught a STD from Russian girls, then suggested secretly slipping Melinda antibiotics. New email in the DOJ release claim. Good old slick Bill. I was gonna call it. You know the other nickname they. Never mind. We'll leave that alone. To the right is small print, but this is an email from Epstein sent to Bill Gates, rebuking him for cutting off their friendship and all this other stuff. He said, basically, man, after I done helped you get antibiotics, you had no problem, man. He didn't say all this, but put two and two together, man. You had no problem, man, frolicking with them Russian girls, man, unprotected and wilding out that I was supplying you. Now you're trying to cut me up. Hey, man, I gave your ass antibiotics. You asked me for antibiotics for your wife because, stuff can get public. Pharmacy find out Melinda Gates needs antibiotics because she got the clap. And they're going to say any pharmacist might get slipped a little bread from TMZ or somebody and say, oh, we got a pharmacy prescription from Melinda Gates, man. She got an STD. The press will run wild with it. Bill Gates had to run it on the low. Epstein said, hey, I can get her some meds. We can clean that up on the low. I mean, but you got to calm down with these little Russian honeypots, man. Now you wonder why they broke. Why is there divorce now on deck? Bill Gates was out here, man, frolicking with his microphallus, messing with these Russian girls, man, and messing around and caught the clap. Bill. No wonder he's pro-vaccine. No wonder he's pro-medicine, man. Who knows where he's thinking that dirty little rod of his in? But there's one. Here's another. This is why Agent Orange says, I got to get the love of the congregation. I got to clean this up. If this comes out, now mind you, if you got a Mossad agent who is you one of your better friends that you had to cut off all of a sudden, that these is all part of letters, emails, and stuff that what's the name was sending to them, saying, hey man, look, how you gonna cut me off, man? And we went through all this, man. Remember what we used to do to them? I got you with them little girls. Underage claims. Agent Orange forced, you know what, on some little girls. This is why he didn't want that out. Complaint summary reported an unidentified female friend who was forced to perform, you know what, sloppy toppy on President Trump approximately 35 years ago in New Jersey. The friend told Alexis that she was approximately 13 to 14 years old when this occurred, and the friend allegedly bit Agent Orange while she was topping him off. The friend was allegedly hit in the face after she laughed about biting Agent Orange. The friend says she was also abused by Epstein. Let me back out of here, man. They're gonna be mad at me, boy. Bombshell allegation. These are all allegations, y'all. Let's be clear. This is alleged. I mean, the emails, the complaints, 35 years ago. You remember? But hey, man, remember Agent Orange when he was behind the scenes talking about how easy it is to get women? He said, "Yeah, you just walk up, you grab them by the." Remember that? Remember the video I showed you, man, when he had the little girl going up the escalator? He said, "That's gonna be my future wife." All that good stuff. The modeling agencies, with them critiquing and looking at underage girls in bikinis and inviting them on the boats, partying. I mean, that's how we got Melania. Okay, so is this plausible? Is this believable? Oh, so this could be one of the reasons why Agent Orange said we can't let this out. Now, there's a movie called Wag the Dog. Do y'all remember that movie? Wag the Dog. President got caught in a sex scandal before he was supposed to have a big summit meeting with China and some other world leaders, and they needed a distraction to take the people's minds off of and the press off of this scandal. Mind you, the war was manufactured. It was fake. They got Hollywood involved and all this other stuff, man, and it worked to avert the attention of the people. Difference is with this is the war and the things of distractions that could be at his disposal are not fake. There's real conflict with Iran on the table. There's real conflict with Russia on the table. There's real disease and plague out there on the table. The economy is nothing that is falsified outside of them cooking the books and doing some folly with the economy, which we'll talk about in a minute. This is why I said this may be what causes him to push the panic button. The panic is oops, this got released. And they said there's still another 50% of files that can come out. So allegedly, Bill Gates then got caught with his pants down, and and caught some things for some Russian girls. He liked them Ruskies. And Agent Orange, man, apparently got topped off by a 13 or 14-year-old man and she bit down. And he had to slap her after she laughed. I'm gonna leave that there. Y'all figure it out. And you say, hey, this is damning evidence against your man. He's gonna do something. Even when it say, hey, look, when it say get the love of the congregation, don't be surprised if them $2,000 plus stimulus checks come down the pipeline. Because what better way to shut people up, what better way to gain favor, man, than to line their pockets with fiat paper monopoly money that they believe is going to get them out of the poverty, man. It's going to get them out of the hole that we in right now. You know, economically, man, everybody looking for a little help. What better way, man, an Agent Orange to come in on this golden horse and say, hey, you get 2,000, you get some money, you know, on his Oprah. So don't be surprised if that money comes down the pipeline, because he's looking to shut you up and look the other way. And at the same time, bomb over here, undercut who knows, right? Everything's on the table. Look at this. DOJ removes new Epstein files that mention wild Trump second allegations, including rape. So he already got the Department of Justice on the case. I mean, scrub that. Tell Zuckerberg and all them, ban this from being spread. Get that off there. Wipe it clean. We need to reinvent history. This didn't happen. Now you see why he was saying, oh, are we still talking about these files? That guy was a creep and blah, 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 blah. And we don't need to be talking about this. This big. Oh, no wonder why you don't want to talk about it. So the DOJ now, they've been told, scrub them. Get rid of it. Imagine that. Look at it. Among the latest Epstein files, dump is a list of wild complaints made with the FBI that include wild allegations against President DJT, Donald J. Trump, and others from uncorroborated tips. So we seen earlier from the top, they've got confidential, sources popping out saying, hey man, he's compromised. I wonder why. Oh, maybe this has something to do with it. His relationship with Epstein. Oh, okay. We see it. And he's already put out the order, man. Scrub that, get rid of that. Let's continue. Look at this. And here comes his potential candidate for 2028. And he's a fraud. He's involved in lies, deception, covetousness. Gavin Newsom's ballyhooed Care First $236 million mental health push helped only 22 people in 4 years. So not only did you have the $25 billion for homelessness, of that $236 million supposed to go to mental health, and only 22 people benefited from that in 4 years. Where's the rest of the money? What did they do? Look at it. Gavin Newsom launched Care Court with great fanfare. He promised help for people with severe mental illness who go back and forth between homelessness, jail, and emergency rooms. California governor boasted that Care Court would be completely new paradigm that would compassionately force people's mentally ill loved ones off the streets and into treatment via a judge's order, and estimated up to 12,000 people could be helped. State Assembly analysis said up to 50,000 people might be eligible. So you've got 50,000 people eligible. Of that, $236 million could be dedicated to at least 12,000 of them. And Gruesome said the numbers lie. I mean, the people, men lie, women lie. Numbers don't. Isn't that what JC said? 22 people got help from this $236 million to help people with mental health. That lets you know that they did not spend this money on said program. This is embezzlement. This is them hiding money, lining their pockets up, doing what politicians do, and this guy says, I want to be your next president. Imagine that. Let's look at this real quick. I know we don't talk finance too much on the Sabbath, but this is important. I ain't talking about buying, selling. I ain't giving you investment advice, none of this. What we're talking about is the state of America. We're talking about the state of New Age, Rome, Babylon, so forth and so on. This is history to understand and know. One of the things that helped collapse America help Rome collapse, and America's following that path, is finance, is money, right? Why gold and silver prices are surging at breakneck speeds. Now, this is very interesting because early in the week, and this shows you how badly Esau manipulates currencies, commodities, so forth and so on, right? Precious metals soared Monday with gold extending its record run past $5,100 per troy ounce and silver surging to new highs as investors continue to load up on hard assets and hedge against geopolitical tensions and economic uncertainty. So, what are they acknowledging? There was a big run on gold and silver, man. All kind of investors, hedge funds, corporate heads, rich folks, all were seeing the inevitable. Banks failing, layoffs, dollar inflation, tariff threats, war, etc., man. And people are looking to hedge their bets, hedge and save, secure their economic stability with precious metals. They are, some of these economists call it God's money, right? These are the two currencies that we can even see in the scriptures: gold, silver, right? Dating all the way back then, man. That's one currency, one value commodity that has not lost its luster, has not disappeared. Gold and silver, right? So record numbers have been happening with gold and silver. $5,100 for an ounce of gold. Hit highs as early as Monday and Tuesday this week, right? Silver, same thing. Now look at it. Traders are placing record bets on dollar collapse. So people started betting against the dollar. They started seeing that this place was heading into a free fall. It's all bad. We got to take our money and invest in other things. So as this is going on, Agent Orange is he's scrambling. Oh, this is a problem. We got to do something. What they do? They ran a whole fake collapse, devaluation of the gold and silver, man. They cooked the books. Remember, it said earlier this week, gold was over $5,000, $5,100. It was even higher than that at one point. That was just the time I clipped it, right? As of this morning, it's at $4,900. It's down $485.77. So people were realizing and saying, hey, get in the gold and silver, man, get up out this damn economy. It's about to crash. It's over with. In order to save the economy, save the banks, man, they had to go ahead and cook the books, man. Get the stocks boosted up. Trump called off the tariffs on Europe, right? Then what did he do? He just which is wild to me. Jerome Powell, the head of the Federal Reserve, term ends in May. He elected a new official. I forgot the guy's name. If y'all know, throw his name in the chat if need be. But there's going to be a new head of the Federal Reserve. And this guy is supposedly anti-gold and silver. He's, wants to regulate inflation. He doesn't want money printing and all this other stuff, right? He's supposed to be a guy that's supposed to be America first, and he wants things to get back on track the good old-fashioned way. And, he don't want to hit stimulus. So what the investors now, the market says, oh, we can wipe our brows now. We ain't got to worry about inflation. A new Fed chair is going to come in and, he's going to save the dollar and get things back on track. So this is why they go and speculate and say, well, drop the value on the metals, man. Things are going to get back on track. Which is interesting to me because if the Federal Reserve is a non-governmental agency, man, it's not quote unquote federal, how the hell can the president decide who runs it? If it's not part of the government, that I just don't understand. And they say, oh, it's to create fairness. The president can't tell the Federal Reserve what to do, but they can influence the decisions made by the Federal Reserve. America got to go to the Federal Reserve to get money. Federal Reserve controls the money printing and controls the interest rates. So when they sit back and they say, if America needs this, that, and the third, Trump now has put somebody in position that's going to do what he says. Allegedly, that's the case. Now, some of y'all been around, you've been picking up what I've been putting down. I've been telling y'all, diversify your funds for years. Told y'all, hey, Al-Adai's been doing the same thing. I told y'all, make sure you got a little, that's him, Ashar, Kevin Warsh, right? That's the new Fed chair is going to take over in May after Jerome Powell steps down. For years now, I've been telling y'all, hey, look in the gold, look in the silver, man. Diversify, invest, get you something on your hands. Store a little something in the mattress or whatever. Never know. Bank collapse. System. Grid goes down. Whatever. You can't get money out the ATM. Can't count on the paper. Can't count on the digital. At least you might have some paper. Whatever. Right. And I don't give financial advice, none of that. I'm figuring out my damn self. But some of y'all that might have jumped in late in the game, you might be like, damn, I might have lost. Man, DJ told me to go get this. And look what happened. Now imagine, you got people who's out there buying silver and gold back in the 80s, silver like $6 an ounce. Even as early as early 2000s, mid 2000s, buying it in the teens, $15, $16 an ounce, $20 some odd dollars an ounce, right? And its value is at $85. Just because it went up to $117 earlier this week, and now it's down to $85, and you say, well, damn, man, this thing done lost $30 in value. I just bought it at $80. It just ain't cool. Well, imagine if you bought it earlier, you still be straight. If you bought it back when it was $30 an ounce, you still up $55 in value. So don't fret. And this is temporal because this is just a Band-Aid on the bleed, man. It can't stop but be inevitable. America is finished financially. Remember, it's laden with clay, debts, 37 trillion plus, right? Brother Ron know what time it is. So don't look at this and say, oh, man, this ain't good. This ain't nothing. This is ridiculous. They took it. No, hold on. You'll be all right. You'll be all right. Here we go.
So the government is now partially shut down, but congressional leaders are hoping this won't last long. The Senate passed a spending deal last night that keeps most of the government open, but the House doesn't return until Monday night, so this shutdown will last at least until then. Now, if it's only...
Now, you hear what she said? Now, here we go. She said, oh, hopefully it's not going to be too long. They'll be good. They'll shut down until they come back to work on Monday. So they made it sound as if, it's not going to be that bad. Because remember last time it was over 45 days. They don't want to replay that, but we'll see what happens.
Doesn't return until Monday night, so this shutdown will last at least until then. Now, if it's only a few days, the impact should be minimal, and the good news here is that food assistance programs like SNAP and WIC are already funded through September. Now, the deal that's been reached in the Senate and backed by President Trump, it strips Homeland Security funding out of the broader package, but it does provide the department 2 weeks of funding, giving lawmakers time to negotiate reforms to rein in federal immigration enforcement with.
And Selena, what specific reforms are Democrats pushing for?
Yeah, right. So Democrats are pushing for several key changes after the killing of Alex Preddy and Renee Good in Minneapolis. And that includes ending roving patrols by federal agents, holding agents to the same use of force standards as state and local police, prohibiting agents from wearing masks, and requiring that they wear body cameras. Now, Democrats believe that.
So those are strong points that Democrats are holding on to, that ICE is saying they ain't trying to let go, and neither is Agent Orange, you name it, right? Even with the with the economy, man, not only are they hitting the gold and silver, they're hitting the crypto because he's trying to instill good old-fashioned American politics with the stock market and everything else, man. So the confidence economically they're trying to put back into those things and not to the other subdivisions of financial literacy or whatever, right? So we can see these are the talking points. These are things and the methods of which the Democrats is going to hold on to when it comes down to the shutdown. Now, notice she said SNAP EBT is good up until September. So everybody's on them particular assistance programs. It's all good. You're going to be good September, but don't get caught slipping like last time thinking they're always going to be there. They're always going to save your life because we've seen women and kids out there crying in the streets when them EBT cards wasn't working and their funds got snapped up and they was figuring out how they was going to feed their families and people was already stealing out the stores and pulling licks. Do not completely depend on this thing, man, because they can cut off the lights anytime they want to. Here's what they're concerned about. Dollar tumbles to 4-year low as Trump claims it's, quote, doing great. Did you see the lie? This is 3 days ago. And then after that is when they went ahead and collapsed the crypto, collapsed the damn, the metals, as they ran out there and said, "Oh, everything's great. I got a new Fed chair. Well, the tariffs is off in England. The good old days is back again. Calm down." So all the speculatory people said, "Man, well, shoot, cool. I'm selling my stuff off. Let me get the bread back." Another lie. It's doing great, right? Chart showing U.S. dollar crashing takes off online, right? So people were seeing all this stuff, man, and this is what was causing panic. This was causing people to divest away from the dollar and whatnot, man, because everybody's seeing the trend is America following in the steps of its daddy, Rome. And this is all smoke and mirrors. This is all acting as if everything's fine. Don't worry, the economy's strong. And no, this is just some fake numbers and stop gaps to convince people, don't worry, we got it all under control. They ain't got it under control. It's an incredibly worrying trend. The dollar's rapid decline translates to less buying power for Americans. Alex Bean, a financial literacy instructor for the University of Tennessee at Martin, told Newsweek, even more troubling are the long-term consequences if other countries start to view the dollar as an unstable currency. How do we know that this is all fake? That they're lying is because you just seen the EU and India made the mother of all deals as they're backing away as a hedge against protection against America and they tariffs and everything else. So notice it says even more troubling are the long-term consequences if other countries start to view the dollar as unstable. They already are seeing as that, and they're making moves. From the BRICS to the EU to Latin America, they're all saying, get out the dollar, get away from it. So Agent Orange is out here throwing band-aids out there, man, and Neosporin and saying, hold on, we got to fix this. Don't worry, trust us. America's strong. The dollar's going to be great. We're going to rebound. We're going to make it great again and affordable again and put back on your hat. No, that's over with. Look at this. Tell them this.
Build a website you love with Wix. For your words.
A Metro Atlanta-based UPS is now announcing another round of job cuts affecting tens of thousands of positions. 11 Alive's Ariana Manise posted this video to explain what it means for customers and the company.
If you work for UPS, listen up. The Metro Atlanta-based shipping company announced it's eliminating 30,000 jobs. They say that these layoffs comes as it's winding down.
Hold it. She said that's Metro Atlanta. Now, I may be wrong, but if she said this is for Atlanta, now I don't know if they're speaking for the workers in Atlanta, or they're saying that 30,000 people working for UPS in Atlanta now will be jobless. If that's the case, that is going to be devastating, especially for our people working for UPS in Atlanta. Now, this may be a countrywide or a worldwide layoff, and they're just addressing those who are working at UPS. It's not clear to me. I don't know. I don't want to go on record saying 30,000 people that work for UPS in Atlanta. But if that is the case, people are in trouble in Atlanta that work for UPS. Remember a few years ago when they had their strike and they were talking about the unions got their back and they're can't nobody stop us. We're going to be out there. And the unions made a breakthrough. UPS broke down and gave them all pay increases and all that. I remember telling y'all, I seen the Jake driving a UPS truck, man, bumping music. He was singing it. I ain't never seen the Jake after they got their little settlement and won they pay increase and their hours and all that. Jake was driving down the street. He bumping, laughing, talking. I said, oh, Jake happy to go to work. Now he got that little bump. I said, but watch. When AI comes in, it's just a small little smoke screen, man, because it was still during the pandemic. Amazon was booming. All the people ordering online, it was all still going down. So they knew they had to fulfill these orders. They had to get them out there. Now they more perfected AI. They slowing things down. They don't need you niggas no more. Here we go.
Listen up. The Metro Atlanta-based shipping company announced it's eliminating 30,000 jobs. They say that
Yes, he said the Metro Atlanta-based. So again, this is centered around Atlanta. 30,000 people in Atlanta that work for UPS. Jobs are going bye-bye.
these layoffs comes as it's winding down operations with Amazon and is part of a major turnaround plan. The cuts are expected to hit operational roles the hardest. In addition to these job cuts, UPS says it's also closing 24 buildings in the first half of this year and also pushing for more automation into its systems. UPS says many of the cuts will happen through attrition and another voluntary buyout for drivers. The Teamster Union is responding, saying UPS workers, quote, know their worth and expect the company to honor its contracts. Now, this round of cuts comes after the company eliminated 48,000 jobs last year. Now, despite all of this, UPS says this major turnaround plan seems to be working and investors seem to agree.
So 48,000 last year, another 30,000 this year. Right. Yeah, I believe that's the case, McQuab, is that the central hub is in Atlanta, but it is a nationwide thing. But as a disclaimer, in the event that it isn't, I got to say that too. But 78,000 jobs gone within the last year and a half, or let's say 2 years, since they did 40,000 last year. 48,000 last year, 30,000 this year.
UPS beat earnings expectations and shares jumped by 4%.
That's just UPS. Amazon doing the same thing. Various other, bank layoffs is all over the place, man. We've been talking about that for the last 2 years or more.
By the way, you can watch more stories just like this one on your time.
Oh, here we go.
Your perfect domain is out there.
So talking about
Go to
UPS,
Wix
here's Amazon.
and make it yours.
Our other top story, thousands of people will have their last day at Amazon this week, and more layoffs could be on the way. Thanks for joining us for the News at 5. I'm Monique Minglavin.
And I'm Elle Thomas. Now, according to Reuters, up to 14,000 jobs nationwide could be cut. Experts tell us it could mean trouble ahead for the region's economy. Cairo 7's Brandon Thompson joining us live now at the Amazon offices. And Brandon, this could be good news for homebuyers.
It could, and not just because Amazon workers, like the more than 300 who were laid off this week in the Doppler building, one of several buildings here in downtown. It's not just because.
Can you imagine this building, 300 people got notified, don't come into work on Monday. Effective immediately, checks in the mail, or it's already been deposited into your account. Thanks for everything. You're out of here. A lot of people ain't even getting dignified face-to-faces, man. You're getting a text, an email. You going to work, man, your access card ain't working. You trying to figure out what the problem is. Security tells you, hey, you didn't get the email? What email? Yeah, you might want to check your email. You know, the whole department has got laid off. Can you imagine, man? You wake up and that's your morning, and then you going online trying to, you know, file for unemployment, and they telling you delays is happening and systems is down and all this other stuff. It's a mess out there, man.
As those workers may be leaving, realtors tell me the tech boom changed what kind of housing was built, meaning there could be more opportunity soon.
I think the capital.
For more than 10 years,
the majority of my clients have been Amazon.
Amazon employees made Kimberly Schaefer's business boom.
The last year, there was a pretty big shift in people coming in.
They worked with 23 relocation clients last year, including some Amazon employees. 21 of them moved out of Seattle. Monday was the first day more than 2,300 Amazon workers were laid off. This week, Meta announced more than 300 of their own, and Reuters is reporting thousands more Amazon workers could be laid off, though not all in Seattle.
I am very nervous.
Can you imagine? If I'm listening to this right, she's saying opportunities will present themselves because people that get laid off, they end up moving out, and that's the home buyer's opportunity to get those people's homes. You lose your job, you can't live where you living no more. She's talking about that's an opportunity. If you got the bread, come on, I got a home for you, because these people have lost their jobs and their homes.
About what's happening, I think there's a lot of uncertainty.
The state
or people who got laid off, all of a sudden now they're going to other places that cost less to live, and you know, they asking them economically, where'd you used to work? Oh, I used to work at Amazon. Oh, okay. That ain't nothing to gloat about.
Employment security.
He sounds so damn crazy, man.
Security Department reports nearly 17,000 more people are unemployed this year versus the same time last, with more than 6,000 fewer jobs in the state.
We have very good fundamentals and ingredients in this area to be very successful going forward. The part that makes me nervous is that you have to invest in those areas.
Schaefer says Amazon's rapid growth brought a change with what kind of housing, shifting away from single family to more density. While she does not think people leaving Amazon will make prices fall, that kind of housing should.
What would be your message to folks who are kind of looking for that entry point to be a little bit more financially feasible?
It's coming. We're working hard.
Give me a damn break, man. Unbelievable. Okay, let's move on. Power grid down for 67 million on edge as dire cold follows the storm. So last week, we know that storm kicked in. All praise to the Most High, man. I didn't get no reports of anybody got jacked up, snowed in, phones down, systems down, whatever. Most High looked out for a lot of y'all. All praises. But there was a lot of people, man, hundreds of thousands who lost power and still having issues. There's supposed to be a second cold front hitting this weekend in the Carolinas and others. I'll be seeing these videos online, man. People's out there in the storm and the snow and complaining. I mean, hey, and I always joke around with Aladad. You know, he's a Chi-Town transplant out here, and he used to always say he moved out here primarily because of the weather. And I used to be like, man, we're so spoiled in California with some of the better weather in the country. I could never fathom moving just because of the weather. But when I see what brothers and sisters go through, man, with the problems with the cars, the streets, the school closures, being snowed in, can't go here, can't go, and just the uncomfortability that comes along with it, I can see you saying, man, after years of this crap, man, I got to go somewhere, man, where I got to have some more freedom and I'm not being oppressed by this weather. So I get it. But yeah, interesting, right? Power grid going down. We always talk about being prepped, being prepared just in case, because they had deaths, man. People dying, freezing in their houses and all that, man. It's bad news out there. If you don't have, obviously the backup power sources to power your heaters, because I mean, even those can only go so long. Before you need to, recharge. And if you ain't got the electricity to plug it in to recharge, you're looking for the solar, and there ain't no damn sun out there enough to charge up your devices to maintain your power, then your next go round is, which many of y'all in the cold know, you better get you like a kerosene heaters. Make sure you got enough kerosene oil to get them heaters going, because you never know. When the power goes down, you got to go back to the old school methods of heat, power, so forth and so on, right? So that's a little nugget, a little wisdom for you. Let's continue on. The Trump administration on alert as deadly virus with no cure sparks the COVID era quarantines. Here we go. That's why I said he pushed the envelope. He got stuff on deck, man. Stuff on deck. Quarantines is being rumored about. You know, there's a lot of plagues, man. 6th season coming in. U.S. officials are monitoring the deadly Nipah virus outbreak in India that has put nearly 200 people under surveillance and triggered a COVID-era travel restrictions over fears of a fresh pandemic. CDC officials told the Daily Mail that they were in, quote, close contact with authorities on the ground to assess the situation and stand ready to take further action. So they're monitoring this Nipah virus. We're hearing about record hospitalizations in New York and other places, right? There's always a threat when there's no cure. Remember with the vid, when it was floating around, they had no cure. They had to get the warp speed pokes in the arms ready and the boosters ready and everything else. So, brothers and sisters, y'all know what time it is, man. Get on your preventative measures, man. Everybody's got their own. Everybody knows what you need to be taking. Get to it. Get to it. Because, you know, with this weather, which, you know, there's a lot of evidences that the weather's been manipulated. I've talked about HAARP and geoengineering for years. And whether or not this is engineered or not, who knows? Is it possible? Absolutely. I seen a video. This comedian Bayan, you know what I'm talking about. This Jake had a damn flamethrower. He trying to melt the ice. The damn ice wouldn't melt. He's joking about it, but you joking just because I'm sure he was tripping like this. He was like, "This shit ain't melting. They getting poisoned. They getting us, y'all." Ah. And the ice for sure was not melting as he was hitting it with some heat. So what's going on with that? Who knows, man? Who knows? But, you know, send them prayers up, man. Make sure that y'all are doing the preventative measures to take care of your health as best as possible. And the rest is in the hands of the Lord. We talked about this for years on end. The ultimate goal, ultimate plan is, because, you know, they're already saying by 2030, there's going to be so many jobs that AI replaces, it's not even going to be funny. A lot of them jobs that UPS and Amazon is laying off people for is because of AI and robotics. We were just talking about it earlier. Me and some of the brothers in our chat talking about Kroger and other, you know, grocery stores now, you know, have apps. In particular, Sam's Club, I know for sure, their app allows you to scan and price all your stuff via your phone. They'll deduct the money out of your card that you've merged, that you've downloaded onto the app. Avoid the lines and all this other stuff. Kroger's giving you rewards for, you know, utilizing the apps, and, you know, they already got the self checkouts in the grocery store. It's only a matter of time. At Whole Foods, you got the damn robots scanning up and down the damn aisles, doing the stocking and shelving and checking inventory. They're not going to leave any stone unturned when it comes down to blue collar and even white collar jobs being replaced. Ultimately, they're going to say, guess what? Don't worry about it. We got a universal basic income for you. Look at this. Get 1,600 euros or dollars a month to do nothing. Welcome to the AI future where nobody works. So if you see movies like Surrogates and Wall-E, that's what they want everybody. Dumbed down, fat blobs, sitting down, addicted to virtual reality goggles and games and all this other stuff, man. And you already see how it's playing out now, even with those of us with kids, or you raising your kids up now, or you got nephews and nieces. It's a punishment now to tell them to go outside and play. It's a punishment now to tell them to be creative and go figure out something. Get off the damn game. Get off the computer. Get off the tablet. The new generation is already locked into these things. But that's what they want. Everybody be addicted to the tech, addicted to the apps, addicted to, you know, the beast system, man. The creative juices of your spirit now has already been sapped out. And you saying, just feed me, give me, give me. Can't work now? Don't worry. We'll give you $1,600 a month to do nothing. Every week, $282 appears in Eleanor O'Donovan's bank account. The 27-year-old is a multidisciplinary artist who sculpts and makes films and installations. But the money isn't payment for her work, nor is it a form of a benefit or a gift from a generous benefactor. It's a means tested, and it comes with no obligation to produce anything in return. How she chooses to spend it is entirely up to her. They've been running they've been running these particular programs, UBI programs in San Francisco, Oakland, I believe in Illinois. They've been running these little $500 a month, little, carrot on the string programs just to see, track their spending habits, what they spend the money on, what are they doing with it? Is it being constructively used? Can they still survive off of it? Remember last week, the agricultural secretary said that you can survive off a $3 a day meal, a piece of chicken, a piece of broccoli, a tortilla, and something else. So you damn sure should be able to be good with that with $1,600 a month. You're going to be eating good with a GMO piece of broccoli, a lab-grown chicken leg, a tortilla made out of beetles. You feel me? And something else. It might be some old drummed up concoction made of poop water and what they're saying is minerals and vitamins to carry you out the day. That's what they want. So the UBI programs are still being tested. This is still going on. See this? As concerns grow over AI surpassing human abilities within 2 to 3 years, remember 2030 is always the goal. Holly Dunbar explores whether universal basic income could be the solution in a world without traditional jobs. This place is in a lot of trouble, man. If you ain't on the side of the Lord, man, if you're not repenting, if you're not walking the lines of righteousness according to this word, man, and being prepared for Jacob's trouble coming down the pipeline, man, it's over for you. 2/3 of Israel's gonna get cut off and die. Thus saith the Lord. Tribulation is on the agenda and on the menu for all of us. How we endure is going to be key. Your faith, my faith in Yahushua, and the ability to keep the commandments through all manners of tribulation, oppression, deception, so forth and so on, is going to be key, because the future is bleak, man. You see, this is what is intended. This is what they are fast tracking down the line, the haves and the have-nots. And if they got to do it and gain control by means of war, famine, pestilence, so forth and so on, they're willing to do it. And they're going to do it. So when we've been talking about UBI and all this for years on end and saying that AI is going to take over the B system, I'm just helping y'all see everything's going according to plan. Briefly, I'm going to talk about your man, Ye. Why am I even going to highlight this? Because according to him, he lays out this big old apology. If y'all know who we talking about, Ye or Kanye West, he went on a strong tirade, man. Maybe 2018, 2019, he had this big, strong awakening, man. He learning he's a true Hebrew, and the GMO small hats been running game on everybody, and they control the industry, they control the entertainment. He's been blackballed, blacklisted, and because of his views, and has he gone over the top with he loves the man with the little mustache and all the other stuff? More than likely. However, he says that this is all results of a car accident that he had, and he because of the brain injuries, he got bipolar. I didn't know that you could get bipolar from an accident, car accident. I thought that was an inherent spirit that was already on somebody. Because I remember when he was talking about they diagnosed him with bipolar and they was trying to kill him with the meds. Remember that? He was running around talking about, they trying to give me meds and saying I'm bipolar. They're trying to kill me, y'all. Now he's saying they're right and I need my meds. And they're not trying to kill me. They're trying to save me. Why all of this is ridiculous, right? Because long story short, We know that this apology letter that he had AI or his PR people have AI type up for him and even read publicly. At the end of the letter, it says sincerely, ye. The AI voice says ye, when his name, according to him, is Ye. So even the reading of the damn apology is AI and it's messed up. So we know it's not sincere, and we know that he's doing this for PR. The bigger problem is this. Ye, formerly Kanye West, takes out an ad in the Wall Street Journal to apologize for anti-Semitic outbursts. I lost touch with reality. So regardless, no, look, hold on, let me finish this. In an open letter paid for by Yeezy, the controversial artist apologized for his past offensive remarks, which he claims stemmed from neurological damage after a 2002 car crash. So he's saying that the car crash caused him to be bipolar. He's been lost touch with reality. So the fact that when he went on these particular interviews and talked about how the music industry, entertainment industry is controlled by a conglomerate, a small conglomerate of companies which are owned by GMO small hats, I guess that wasn't reality. When he brought out the facts and talked about how they're not the true people of God, the Jews, that wasn't reality. When he talked about the corruption and the blacklisting and all this other stuff and how his friends turned on him when he started changing his views and speaking the truth, divorce from his wife, I guess he lost touch of reality. Translation, for those of us who have and hold the same views as Ye has, it's now going to be classified that I'm mentally ill, you're mentally ill, and you've lost touch with reality. Anybody who agrees with or has thoughts along those same lines, regardless of the fact that you can pull out archaeologically, scripturally, anthropologically, prophetically, historically, regardless, you can pull all that stuff out, you've lost touch with reality. You're anti S word, and you need to be condemned. You need to be shamed. You need to be canceled. You need to be fired. And the only way that you're going to get back is if you get put on meds. See, now he's saying, I'm on my meds now, and I'm feeling a lot better and clear. And now he's been comatose with dope. So again, back to the NSPM 7. If you hold any, remember it said extreme views on race. So what did he do? He went extreme. He's selling swastika shirts and anti-S word shirts and I love HITLER and see, that's where the extremes got him. But who's more extreme than us when it comes down to our standpoints and where we hold our values at regarding who the people of the Lord are and who isn't? You, me, and anybody else who's on here saying, yeah, that's right. We're the people. See how now this can be classified into mental illness? Oh, you think like Kanye? Oh, yeah, Kanye. You guys are crazy. He even admitted it. Anybody that thinks about those things, that has those understandings, you guys have lost touch with reality. You might need meds like him. And far be it from America to go switch the script and say, if you got any thoughts on this, you might need to be detained. You might need to be sedated. I mean, this is how bad it can get because of this fool coming out here saying this foolishness. And now they can go run with it and say, if you got these particular views, hey, yeah. But notice, they're at the point now where they can't deny. Even the greatest of scholars and theologians are saying, yeah, there are black Jews. Yeah, they are people. Yeah. The problem is when you boast about it. The problem is when you're on the highways and the byways telling others. The problem is when you walking proudly with your friends and you telling them to their face, move over. The real are here. Oh, no, that's extreme. Hold on. We don't like your type. This is why you see some in the community flipping the script now. Oh, no, I'm not like them no more. I'm not affiliated with that. I ain't that. You see how that works? Because long term, they can go flip, just like they used to say, being a sodomite was a mental disorder, or a PDF file was a mental disorder. Now it's normalized. So they can say whatever they want. They can say, if you hold these particular views, man, these are people that are mentally ill that you see there on the streets. Yeah, not only are they in a cult, but they're also, off their rocker, and they're not in reality. See, Kanye used to think about, he used to say the same stuff as them. Look, he finally came to the light. He's on his meds now. Don't listen to those people. That's why this is important. That's why this is interesting, because they can flip the script and run a narrative that can try to destroy or demolish the foundation of the truth. But guess what? To no avail, because as we know, and I'm gonna wrap this up, y'all. It's been a long one. All praise to the Most High, but got to get it off. Oops, Shalakia. 2 Corinthians 13 and verse 8. And that reads, for we can do nothing against the truth, but for the truth. So regardless of the narratives that they spin, regardless if Ye now all of a sudden has found some epiphany that he's been mentally ill all this time and he needs meds. I mean, I ain't even heard this dude, when he was in his right mind, regardless of what he's saying, and he was telling his ex he didn't want his daughter on social media, and she pretty much told him F off. Now his daughter's got TikTok pages and dyeing her hair, and they said the girl got about 11 different damn piercings and gold teeth and all kind of stuff, and now she's trying to become a celebrity. Everything that he did not want her to be exposed to, the mother being a damn vampire, put that out there, and now I'm hearing he's okay with it. He's cool and encouraging her. He's been completely compromised. It's over. I was gonna look at this, man. Maybe we'll do that next week, Lord willing. But you see here, man, over in China, they already got the AI robots out there on the streets, traffic control, so forth and so on. Now, of course, people are gonna drive by and be like, man, you see that damn robot? Ha ha, rolling off. The robot is catching your license plate, your facial recognition, they doing it all. So if you think you're gonna roll by and tell them F off, I ain't stopping, and think it's a joke, they ain't doing nothing but monitoring and controlling everything. It will be your information be submitted to the damn government and local officials knocking on your door talking about why did you stop? You out of here. All right, Bayan said he wants to see it. All right, real quick.
Grip, stability, precision. That's the essence of driving.
They put out there.
AI's power demands are skyrocketing, but with it comes massive energy costs and efficiency challenges.
Cameras on the stoplights.
Neural watts, at nearly 6 feet tall.
Robot dogs walking through the streets of New York. Robots rolling around in city parks out here, doing deliveries. You name it. Now they're out in the streets. Woohoo City, China. Woohoo!
The newest police recruit on patrol in the city of Wuhu commands attention, less because of the uniform than the 6 high-definition cameras and advanced sensors under that hat that allow the AI.
Did you hear that? 6 cameras is underneath that hat, man, watching. Don't think that these things is out here for play and they just joking around. This is something for everybody to be amazed at and get the cameras out and all that. This thing is rolling real-time film about everybody.
Less because of the uniform than the 6 high-definition cameras and advanced sensors under that hat that allow the AI-powered robot called R001 to manage the flow of traffic and people in the streets and around the clock. It looks just like a real person at first sight, says this pedestrian. Real-life robocops like this have been rolled out in other Chinese cities too, including Chengdu, Hangzhou, and Shanghai. One of the police instructors says the robots work alongside human traffic officers, or they can tap into the traffic lights to work solo. The robocops aren't designed to be particularly fast or fearsome, but they are a key part of a wider strategy here to show off China's advances in robotics.
All right, so I'm gonna stop there, but you can see what's going down, right? That's what's on the table. That's what they're using in China already. Don't be surprised when it starts rolling over here. You saying that ain't gonna happen over. You didn't believe that when they start putting cameras on the streets, and we was already saying they've been doing that in China for years. Everything they do builds back over here. All right.
And to make
I'm gonna end it there. I'm gonna end it there, man. All praise to the Most High. So don't think that the age of robotics, AI, and so forth and so on isn't on the way here, knocking on the door. They out there in the streets controlling the traffic, right? And that's going to be the next phase of, you know, surveillance and seeing when they go out there and have the fake robo-cops out there on the streets, man, watching what you're doing, monitoring your cars. If you see the cameras now is already programmed to take a picture of your license plate in your face if you make a wrong left turn or right on red, or you're riding down the freeway and you don't have the express pass or whatever. Now they're gonna have the robots out there, man, along with, you know, some little pot belly, you know, traffic cop to sit back and say, yeah, did you get that? Yep, got it. Eating a donut, right? Because they ain't got to do too much work, you know. He's probably working. He's gonna be part time and getting a universal basic income to supplement his money. So there you have it, y'all, man. Prayerfully, this was edifying for brothers and sisters, man. I want to give all praise, honor, glory to the Most High while Yahweh Shai. That's going to conclude another episode of DSTM. Don't shoot the messenger, man. If you have not already wiped your feet on the way in, wipe them on the way out, man. Hit that like button. Share the video. Hashemai, I don't know if this is sharing on Facebook. I'm telling you, I try to share it. I did forget to try to share it manually beforehand, but whatever, right? You know, Most High's going to get it to where it needs to go. All praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, man. Y'all be well. Shabbat shalom to everybody. We won't be having a closing Shabbat class today. This will be the Shabbat class for the day. But Lord willing, man, we'll see y'all next week. All right. Till then, shalom.